Chapter 330. Shen Zhenghao was really scared to death this time. Why is this white fox hero so scary? Directly controlling the cup was understandable. His special ability could do it, but could he stop the car without stepping on the brakes? He was a little overwhelmed. If this guy in front of him created a car accident to kill him, it would be a piece of cake. Now he finally understood why the Sun family died so frequently. Moreover, White Fox Hero also had the ability to let the Sun family die in other accidents, but he didn't do so. Letting you die on a horse was also a kind of provocation and warning to the Sun family. Okay. Shen Zhenghao pulled out the car key and got out with Xiao Chen. They walked over to Shen Jingxian in the pavilion. Shen Jingxian sat quietly on the bench and looked at her brother, who was at a loss. She couldn't help but sigh. Her brother cared about her, how could she not know? But to let her brother be the heir, this was the ultimate goal of her branch. There was no turning back. His younger brother had already entered the competition for the position of the successor of the young patriarch. At that time, if he lost the competition and allowed a ruthless person to take the position, then Shen Jingmao's bloodline would very likely be eliminated from the Shen family. So even if Shen Jingxian wasn't willing, she had to marry Xie Chen. Of course, she had no other choice now. With Xiao Chen, it was impossible. Shen Jingxian was a little sad. Before yesterday, the life she was looking forward to suddenly became bleak. Those days when she had an affair with Xiao Chen, although she was nervous and always worried that the matter would be exposed and discovered by the family, now it was impossible even if she wanted to find out. Does he really only like my appearance and cares if I'm a virgin or not? Can't he care about me a little? Shen Jingxian was very depressed and a little angry. She liked him for nothing. It turned out that he was this kind of person. Looking at the phone, there was no call from Xiao Chen. Shen Jingxuan's heart died. Jingxian. Shen Zhenghao called out to his daughter, who was staring blankly at the sky. However, from his point of view, Shen Jingxian should be a good match for swordsman White Fox. Swordsman White Fox was much stronger than Xie Chen. Shen Jingxian turned her head and looked at her father, who was walking over. Beside him, there was a person wearing a fox mask, which made her feel a little strange. Who was this person? But looking at his figure, there was a sense of familiarity. Where had I seen him before? Dad. Seeing that his sister was so unhappy, Shen Jingmao finally couldn't help but stand up. Dad, don't force my sister to marry that Xie Chen. My sister's happiness is more important than anything else. I'm not marrying Xie Chen anymore. Shen Zhenghao smiled and said, I'll introduce you two to a young talent. This is a real young talent. I dare say that all the young people in Songning City added up can't even compare to one of Hero White Fox's fingers. Shen Jingxian and Shen Jingmao were slightly stunned. Their father rarely praised anyone. Even Shen Jingkuan, Shen Zhenghao had only said that he was the best of the young generation. This swordsman White Fox directly said that all the others combined can't compare to him. Hello, swordsman White Fox. Shen Jingmao greeted Xiao Chen politely. Although he didn't know who swordsman White Fox was and what he did, he had to be polite since his father said so. Oh, you don't have to be so polite. Just call me Big Brother White Fox from now on. Xiao Chen nodded to Shen Jingmao. However, Shen Jingmao didn't know how powerful swordsman White Fox was. He was a little puzzled. Why was this person trying to get close to him? However, his father was here, so he couldn't say much. He just nodded. Jingmao, why don't you greet Big Brother White Fox? Shen Zhenghao grinned from ear to ear. This time, he understood that swordsman White Fox had accepted his daughter. Otherwise, he wouldn't let Shen Jingmao address him like this. This swordsman White Fox is very powerful. Not only is his strength superb, but you also know how precious the medicinal herbs that your second great-grandfather needs are, right? Swordsman White Fox helped to get them all by himself. Oh. Shen Jingmao was a little surprised this time. He naturally knew how difficult it was to get those medicinal herbs. If it weren't for those medicinal herbs, his sister wouldn't have been able to marry into the Qin family, and then into the Xia family. Even so, it was impossible to get all of them. It was already good enough to get 1 or 2 of them, and the quantity was only 1 or 2. Shen Jingxian was also a little surprised at this time. She didn't care much about this swordsman White Fox, but at this moment, she couldn't help but look at him a few more times. Of course, it was just a few more glances. Jingmao, this time, you have a high chance of getting promoted. Come, let's plan and see how we can make good use of this opportunity to increase your bargaining chips. If your second great-grandfather speaks up for you, then your chances will be much higher. Shen Zhenghao waved to Shen Jingmao and then said to Shen Jingxian, Jingxian, swordsman White Fox is a good person. You should accompany him around. This is his first time coming to our house. Me? Shen Jingxian was stunned. Then, she thought of something, but she felt that it was impossible. It was understandable that Xia Chen liked her and didn't care about whether she was a virgin or not, because the Xia family was weaker than the Shen family. However, swordsman White Fox was different. Swordsman White Fox was powerful, and he solved the medicinal herbs that the Shen family needed by himself. His status must be much higher than that of the Shen family. How could he still like her? Even if he wanted to play, he couldn't just pick a second-hand one, right? She couldn't make heads or tails of it. Well, Uncle Shen, then you go ahead with your work. I'll let Jingxian take me around, Xiao Chen said. Okay, the environment of this villa area is very elegant, and there are many specialty restaurants nearby. It's almost noon. Jingxian, help me take care of swordsman White Fox. You guys can find a place to eat. Shen Zhenghao was ecstatic. Swordsman White Fox actually called him uncle. Their relationship in the future, hee. Before, he was envious of the Xia family, but now, he was almost the same as the Xia family. In the future, he wouldn't need anything from the Xia family. The Xia family also asked swordsman White Fox for help. Wouldn't he directly ask for help in the future? Swordsman White Fox was also his son-in-law, right? His words should at least be more convincing, right? Shen Zhenghao thought proudly. Shen Jingshuan's face was a little ugly. Originally, when her father said that he wouldn't let her marry the Xia family, she was relieved. But now, it seemed that her father had hooked up with an even more powerful person. Now, it was obvious that he wanted her to follow swordsman White Fox. And this swordsman White Fox should also like her. However, Shen Jingshuan's heart was already dead, just like everyone else. She simply nodded and said, okay. Sister, you actually don't have to do this. If you don't like me, then forget it. I don't want to continue like this. Shen Jingmao suddenly spoke. He looked at Shen Zhenghao and said, Dad, sister is not a commodity. You gave her to this person, to that person, to keep marrying her in exchange for my support. But now, what do you think? This is harming sister. She won't be happy for the rest of her life. How do you know that she won't be happy with me? Xiao Chen glanced at Shen Jingmao coldly. Although he somewhat approved of his behavior, it seemed that he was not a bastard who only knew how to cheat his sister. But now, Xiao Chen was afraid that Shen Jingxian would really listen to him and not hang out with him. Wouldn't that be a wasted trip? Shen Zhenghao saw the change in swordsman White Fox's expression and suddenly felt a little worried. He glared at Shen Jingmao and said angrily, Jingmao, don't be meddlesome. Be careful that trouble comes from the mouth. Previously, Xia Chen was beaten up without warning. Shen Zhenghao still remembered it clearly. He was afraid that Shen Jingmao would say something that would make swordsman White Fox unhappy, causing him to secretly attack him. It was fine if he was smashed by a cup in the open, but he was afraid that he would secretly do something like that. That was really impossible to guard against. Therefore, Shen Zhenghao was so angry that he quickly signaled to Shen Jingxian with his eyes. Shen Jingxian was stunned. She didn't expect her father to be so eager to push her to White Fox. Was White Fox really that powerful? Did he make her father anxious to this point? Seeing that Shen Jingxian didn't understand, Shen Zhenghao angrily rebuked Shen Jingmao. Is swordsman White Fox someone you can disobey? Didn't you see the consequences of Xia Chen acting like a big shot in front of swordsman White Fox? The teacup on the table flew into the air and smashed his head until it bled. Swordsman White Fox didn't even move. If he wanted to kill you, it would be as easy as flipping his hand. Shen Jingshuan's heart trembled. She didn't expect swordsman White Fox to be so cruel and have such magical abilities. She was really afraid that swordsman White Fox would harm her brother, so she said, "Let's go. I happen to have nothing to do, so I'll walk around nearby." "Mr. Shen, don't worry. I usually don't attack my family," Xiao Chen said lightly. Shen Zhenghao couldn't help but smile helplessly. "You don't attack your family? Then why did you attack Xia Chen?" Could it be that Xia Chen's relationship was a little distant, and he was no longer considered family? "Jingmao, why aren't you thanking swordsman White Fox for his magnanimity? He is a superpower user, so he won't bother with a small martial artist like you." Shen Zhenghao kicked Shen Jingmao. Shen Jingmao heard his father say that the person in front of him was so scary, but he didn't think that he did anything wrong. If he was really wrong, he could admit it, but he didn't do anything wrong. "Forget it." Xiao Chen waved his hand. This was his brother-in-law, so he naturally wouldn't make things difficult for him. Besides, he was anxious to talk to Goddess Shen, so he directly said, "Jingxian, let's walk." "Oh." Shen Jingxian nodded expressionlessly. It was hard to tell whether she was sad or happy. But when she heard her father say that swordsman White Fox was a superpower user, her eyes flashed with a touch of surprise. Shen Jingxian walked forward in a daze. Her whole person was like a shell that had lost its soul, and she didn't take the initiative to talk to Xiao Chen. They were still in the range of Shen Zhenghao's sight, so Xiao Chen didn't dare to speak casually. Moreover, he really didn't know how to open his mouth to speak. "Jingxian, what kind of man do you like?" Xiao Chen casually found a topic and asked. Chapter 331. Shen Jingxian didn't answer as if she didn't hear it. But after taking 2 steps, she asked, "You helped my family? Did you find all those rare medicinal herbs?" "That, yeah." Xiao Chen nodded. "Oh." Shen Jingxian thought, no wonder Dad is so respectful. It seems that this time he has decided to let me follow him. But Shen Jingxian still said, "I'm not a virgin anymore. Are you sure that if I follow you, you will help my brother with all your might?" "I know." "Of course, you're not. If you still are, then there will be a problem." Xiao Chen said, "As for help, I will definitely help if I can." "Why? Have you seen me before?" Shen Jingxian had some doubts in her heart. Logically speaking, why would such a powerful person like me? If it was in the past, Shen Jingxian still had this confidence, but now she was a second-hand good. What did the White Fox hero like about me? "I have seen you before. I have liked you for several years." Xiao Chen nodded. Shen Jingxian was speechless. She wondered if the person in front of her was really a master or a liar. However, looking at Dad's appearance, he shouldn't be a liar. However, she found it hard to understand. Such a master had liked her for several years and only appeared recently. What was he doing earlier? When they were almost at the entrance of the community, Shen Zhenghao didn't follow them and couldn't notice them. Xiao Chen tentatively reached out his hand and wanted to hold Shen Jingshuan's hand. Shen Jingshuan's body stiffened and she subconsciously avoided it. But thinking about her current situation, she still explained, "Can you give me a little time? I can't accept it now." Shen Jingxian wanted to wait for an answer. She wanted Xiao Chen to tell her personally that he didn't want her anymore. Only then would she give up and follow the family's arrangement. Otherwise, she would never be reconciled for the rest of her life. Although she felt that there was basically no hope for Xiao Chen to ignore her given the current situation, she still felt that there was no longer any hope. But in her heart, there was still a trace of hope. That was her first love and the only person she loved in this life, including in the future. She didn't want to give up, but she couldn't do anything about it. In reality, there were always so many unsatisfactory things. Once something happened, it would change, and it would never return to the past. Xiao Chen looked at Shen Jingxian, but he wasn't angry. Instead, he felt a little better. It seemed that Shen Jingxian still had him in her heart and didn't follow the arrangements of the family. Just as he was about to say something, Xiao Chen suddenly found that Shen Jingxian was crying. Although she didn't make a sound, she was crying silently. Tears rolled down her haggard cheeks, but she didn't wipe them away. She just walked forward. Xiao Chen was shocked. He reached into his pocket, but there wasn't anything to wipe with. Fortunately, Xiao Chen's car wasn't far ahead. Xiao Chen quickly walked a few steps forward, opened the car door, and took out a box of tissues. He took out a few pieces and handed them to Shen Jingxian. You. Who are you? When Shen Jingxian saw Great Hero White Fox taking a tissue from the Land Rover in front of her, she was shocked and subconsciously took 2 steps back. Isn't this Qin Jinpeng's car yesterday? Isn't Qin Jinpeng dead? However, when she saw the box of tissues in Xiao Chen's hands, her whole body trembled. She looked at White Fox in horror. You. What did you do to Xiao Chen? This box of tissues wasn't from Qin Jinpeng's car. It was from Xiao Chen's car. Shen Jingxian was also sure that the Land Rover in front of her wasn't Qin Jinpeng's car yesterday. It was Xiao Chen's car. She had an impression of this box of tissues. That day, when she was kissing Xiao Chen in the car, she was so nervous that her palms were sweaty. So, she took out 2 tissues to wipe her hands. At that time, it might have been because she was nervous, so it left a deep impression on her. And now, she saw White Fox driving Xiao Chen's car. This person had smashed Xia Chen's car. So, did he think that there was something going on between her and Xiao Chen, so he killed Xiao Chen? Xia Chen had some background, so he didn't dare to kill him directly. But, Xiao Chen, Shen Jingxian was worried. In fact, she didn't consider that the White Fox in front of her was Xiao Chen. This was because, in her mind, it was impossible. Her father was very respectful to White Fox. How could it be Xiao Chen? If it was Xiao Chen, why didn't he go to her house to propose marriage? Why did he wait until she was in trouble? Logically, it didn't make sense. Most importantly, Hero White Fox's voice was different from Xiao Chen's. What she didn't know was that the reason why Xiao Chen only came now was because he didn't know that Shen Zhenghao was lacking medicinal herbs. If he knew, he would have come earlier. Who knew what Shen Zhenghao wanted from his son-in-law? Let's talk in the car, Xiao Chen said. He didn't wait for Shen Jingxian to reply and pulled her into the Land Rover not far away. After getting in the car, Shen Jingxian was anxious. Tell me, what did you do to Xiao Chen? It seems that you care about Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen asked. You. Don't worry about it. Just tell me what happened to Xiao Chen. Shen Jingxian glared at White Fox. Xiao Chen looked at Shen Jingxuan's concerned expression and suddenly felt that he was wrong. Goddess Shen didn't really hate him yesterday. He couldn't hold it in anymore. He reached out and hugged Goddess Shen. You. Let go of me. Shen Jingxian was a little anxious. Why did White Fox force himself on her? You were looking for me just now, and now you want me to let go of you? Xiao Chen changed his voice this time. He changed back to his previous voice. Shen Jingxuan's body stiffened and she stopped struggling. However, a look of disbelief flashed in her eyes. Then, Shen Jingxian began to struggle again. Let go of me. Did you kill Xiao Chen? Then imitate his voice to trick me? Don't think that I don't know that you are a superpower user. You can definitely imitate him. Xiao Chen was speechless. He reached out and took off his mask. Then, he looked at Shen Jingxian and said, Goddess Shen. How can there be so many superpowers in this world? It's good enough to have me, you. Shen Jingxian looked at Xiao Chen in front of her in disbelief. Yesterday, there was already a fake Xiao Chen. Today, this person was also a superpower user. Maybe he could imitate Xiao Chen's appearance? She knew that Xiao Chen had imitated Qiao Yuliang's appearance at Qing Menjing's banquet. Seeing that Shen Jingxian still didn't believe him, Xiao Chen had no choice but to say, "Goddess Shen, didn't I tell you before that I have an identity in the warrior guild? That identity helped the Xia family and killed the people from the Sun family. That identity of mine is the white fox. If you don't believe me, you can go back and ask Uncle Shen." Really? Shen Jingxian was suddenly happy. Was the person in front of her really Xiao Chen? Was he here? Of course it's true. Well. Back on the deserted island, you rode on my head. Nobody knows about that, right? Also, we were almost caught by Jean Bebe in the closet. Even if it's fake, it's impossible for them to know, right? Also, when I sent you back that day, we kissed for the first time in this car. Xiao Chen had to explain when he saw that Shen Jingxian still didn't believe his identity. Stop, stop. I believe you are. Shen Jingxian felt a little embarrassed and stopped struggling. Her body went limp as she fell into Xiao Chen's embrace. She suddenly felt blissful. The happiness from before had returned. Life was no longer gloomy. At this moment, she felt that even if she died, it would be worth it. I've said it before. I'll walk into the Shen family above board. Although, this method of entering is a little unique, it's still considered entering. Uncle Shen is quite satisfied with me. Xiao Chen said. More than satisfied. He is afraid of you. Why are you so fierce to him? Why did you scare my brother? Shen Jingxian glared at Xiao Chen. He scared me. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Why didn't I tell you earlier? If I said I was Xiao Chen, Uncle Shen probably wouldn't let you accompany me. He wouldn't be afraid of me. After hearing that, Xiao Chen couldn't help but smile bitterly. My previous identity as a useless playboy has been deeply rooted, you're right. Shen Jingxian nodded. However, she suddenly thought of something and felt sad again. Yesterday's matter, I didn't mean it. I guess Chen Jinpeng, that idiot, wanted to harm you. In the end, he was killed by someone first. After I went, under the effect of the incense, Xiao Chen said with some embarrassment, but anyway, Uncle Shen agreed, and then we have a relationship. No, you mean, the person yesterday was really you? Shen Jingxian stared at Xiao Chen with her eyes wide open. If it wasn't me, who was it? You didn't see it clearly at the time? Xiao Chen was also stunned. You scared me. Shen Jingxian suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. She was in Xiao Chen's arms and hit Xiao Chen. I thought it was Chen Jinpeng who pretended to be you. He died a long time ago. Xiao Chen was speechless. You didn't think that the person who did it with you was Chen Jinpeng, did you? That's right. You knew I was scared to death. Yesterday, I even had the thought of dying. Why didn't you call and tell me? Shen Jingxian glared at Xiao Chen angrily. Yesterday, you asked me to leave. I thought you were angry with me. Didn't I want to wait for your anger to subside? Besides, I was afraid that Uncle Shen would see me contacting you, said Xiao Chen. Afraid of him? I think he is afraid of you, right? Shen Jingxian rolled her eyes at Xiao Chen. Isn't that white fox? On the surface, I am still Xiao Chen, said Xiao Chen. Well, seeing that I was framed by Chen Jinpeng yesterday, I will forgive you first, said Shen Jingxian. However, yesterday was unconscious. Don't think that you can do whatever you want in the future just because you did it once. I haven't thought about it yet. You can't force it. Chapter 332. Sure. Xiao Chen agreed without even thinking about it. Although he felt a little regretful, he truly liked Shen Jingxian. Moreover, the relationship between the two of them had not reached that stage under normal circumstances. Then, when I go back, I'll tell my dad that I'm satisfied with the white fox. Shen Jingxian was happy. The person yesterday wasn't Chen Jinpeng. Moreover, she could be with Xiao Chen openly now. She didn't have to worry about pressure from her family anymore. Let's not talk about it now. Xiao Chen shook his head. He had more to think about. In the past, you weren't satisfied with Qin Jinkuan, Qin Jinpeng, and Xie Chen. If you suddenly say that you're satisfied with me, Uncle Shen might be suspicious. After all, with your personality, it's impossible for you to fall in love with someone so easily. You're a goddess, so you should be more reserved. It's fine as long as you don't object. It's not right if things develop too quickly. That's true. Shen Jingxian nodded. Suddenly, she said, it can't be that easy. Why do I feel like you're being sarcastic? I seem to have fallen in love with you all of a sudden. You only agreed after I chased you for a few years. Xiao Chen had to give Goddess Shen some face. Just now, the white fox said that it liked me for a few years. I'm confused. Shen Jingxian hit Xiao Chen. Hey, take me to eat something. I'm starving. I haven't eaten anything since you tortured me yesterday. Okay, but let's go somewhere a little further. Xiao Chen was also afraid that someone close to Shen Zhenghao would see them. Oh, by the way, was yesterday your safe period? I took my medicine. Shen Jingxian glanced at Xiao Chen. If I knew it was you, I wouldn't have taken it. If I gave birth to you and told my dad that it was a white fox, he might be even happier. Xiao Chen realized that Goddess Shen was suddenly in a good mood. It turned out that she was conflicted about who she was doing it with, not because she was angry at him. He had thought that Shen Jingxian was really angry. Of course, in fact, Shen Jingxian was angry, but what happened later caught her off guard. She felt that it was better to do it with Xiao Chen. Therefore, her anger towards Xiao Chen had turned into hope. Then, in the future, in front of outsiders? Xiao Chen asked hesitantly. Please, my current boyfriend is White Fox. White Fox is so powerful, can you beat him? How dare you be with me in public? He might kill you. Shen Jingxian snorted. All right. Xiao Chen actually wanted to say this, but it was also good to work underground. Otherwise, it would be hard to explain to Missy. If he secretly slept with her best friend, she would be furious. Not far away, Xie Chen watched the Land Rover start up and leave. His eyes flashed with doubt. Wasn't this car driven by Qin Jinpeng yesterday? However, the car's door was broken, and it was currently parked in the parking lot. As for that car, it had a fake license plate. He heard that it was Xiao Chen's car, so the car in front of him was Xiao Chen's? Why was it driven by White Fox? What was going on in this? Xiao Chen's car was covered with a film, so he couldn't see the situation inside. However, Xie Chen was suspicious. He was sent by his brother. Why hadn't Shen Zhenghao returned yet? Shen Zhenghao said that he would send White Fox off, but he didn't come back for a long time. Xie Huang was a little anxious, so he sent Xie Chen to take a look. As a result, Xie Chen saw such a scene. Of course, he didn't say much. He turned around and left, planning to find Shen Zhenghao. At that moment, Shen Zhenghao and Shen Jingmao were talking. Shen Jingmao seemed a little unhappy. His father had used his sister as a bargaining chip in exchange for White Fox's support for the Shen family. Previously, he wasn't particularly opposed to his sister's relationship with the Qin family. This was because the descendants of aristocratic families, including himself, had been engaged to a woman whom he had never met. However, from Shen Jingmao's point of view, if his fiancée was no longer a virgin, could he still treat her sincerely? Obviously, it was impossible. Aristocratic families valued these things very much. They all maintained the ancient customs. Women must follow the 3 obediences and 4 virtues. If they lost their chastity, it would be considered unchastity. Therefore, Shen Jingmao wanted to stop his father from giving his sister to the Xie family and then to White Fox. He didn't think that White Fox would really value his sister. Maybe he just saw that his sister was beautiful and wanted to play with her for a while. Dad, have you ever thought about what would happen if one day, White Fox got bored and abandoned my sister? Shen Jingmao asked. I don't think so. Shen Zhenghao felt a little uneasy after hearing Shen Jingmao's words. White Fox seems to like your sister very much, but my sister was previously taken by that B***starred, Qin Jinpeng. Shen Jingmao sighed. Then we can only take it one step at a time. For now, with White Fox's support, it will definitely be beneficial for you to rise to the top. The ability of White Fox that we have seen so far is just the tip of the iceberg. Shen Zhenghao said. Shen Jingmao was a little silent. At that moment, Xia Chen walked over. On the surface, he was still very enthusiastic. Uncle Shen, so you are here. My brother asked me to tell you that if there's nothing else, we'll go back first. Nephew Xia Chen, I'm really sorry. Shen Jingmao walked over and patted Xia Chen's shoulder regretfully. Although we can't be father and son-in-law, we still have our friendship. You also know that I dare not go against White Fox's will. I understand. You have your own difficulties. Xia Chen nodded. Then, shall we go back first? Shen Jingmao looked at his father's expression and was a little unhappy. Dare not go against him? Don't mention how happy you are to see your sister and White Fox together. Let's have lunch here before leaving. Although we can't be relatives, we can still be partners. Shen Zhenghao said. Alright, then I'll listen to Uncle Shen. I'm also going back to the villa to find my brother. Xia Chen said. I want a seafood fried noodles. Xiao Chen looked at the food on the menu and felt a little emotional. This was the fast food that he had eaten when he was chased out of the family and lost in the basketball match. However, he didn't even know what it was at that time. It seemed that Shen Jingxian was still better than him. At least she knew what it was. In the past, he cared too much about cultivation. Other than pretending, he spent the rest of his time on cultivation. Now, he didn't have much time to cultivate, but his strength increased instead. Right, Menjing said before that the night before you left number 1 high school, you ate seafood fried noodles at the snack bar at the school gate. Shen Jingxian remembered the previous things. She suddenly realized that she didn't know why, but the things about Xiao Chen in her memory had become more profound. Did I care too much about him? You actually know. Xiao Chen smiled and said, then, when I lost the basketball match, did you laugh at me? Of course not. Shen Jingxian said, you didn't want to expose your strength at that time. Otherwise, you could use your special ability to control the basketball into the basket. This game is too unchallenging for you. Xiao Chen was a little dumbfounded. Shen Jingxian really thought that he was so powerful before, but he couldn't explain it. At that time, your performance was too good. How could Menjing break off the engagement? I didn't have the chance to pursue you. Humph, nonsense. You must like Qing Menjing too. Shen Jingxian said, I can see it. Otherwise, you are so powerful. Even if you are driven out of the family, you won't be willing to be a servant. Forget it. Xiao Chen found that when the girl was serious, it was useless to say anything. Hey, you and I, this is the first time, right? Shen Jingxian suddenly asked. What's wrong? Asked Xiao Chen. Nothing. Shen Jingxian seemed very happy. Xiao Chen didn't have anything with other women before, which made her a little surprised. Actually, I am a very single-minded person. At that time, I was thinking about you. At most, I took a photo of you secretly. Xiao Chen said. Are you serious? Not Qing Menjing? If someone else said this to her, Shen Jingxian would be disgusted, but when Xiao Chen said it, she felt a little comfortable. She felt proud. No. Xiao Chen nodded. It wasn't something to be embarrassed about. How many adolescents hadn't done it before? Even if he wasn't a dick before, he wasn't much worse. Oh, although I think it's okay, I don't think you are single-minded. Tang Tang, Jean Bebe, and Kerlin, what's the matter? Asked Shen Jingxian. Do you have any private photos or something? Send me some. You won't let me push you. What if I miss you when I go back tonight? Xiaochen didn't answer but said so. I don't have it. Shen Jingxian glared at Xiaochen. Even if I have it, I won't give it to you. What if you don't want me in the future and send those photos out? How is that possible? It's not like you don't know that I am very possessive. Although I didn't kill Chen Jinpeng, if he is still alive, it will be soon, said Xiaochen. You are a terrifying murderer. Don't kill people indiscriminately in the future. That's not good. Shen Jingxian said, my dad will definitely ask you to do something bad for him. You'd better not agree with him. Then can he give you to me? Xiaochen was a little speechless. Besides, in the world of martial artists, it's hard to say what's right and wrong. Since you are in this world, you must be prepared to be killed. Otherwise, it's better to be an ordinary person. You're right. Shen Jingshuan's beef stir-fried noodles came first. She began to eat. Shen Jingshuan's table manners were very good. She was very elegant and beautiful. There was a very quiet feeling. At this time, Xiaochen was just like the past. In the cafeteria, he secretly watched Shen Jingxian eat from a distance. Whenever that happened, Xiaochen would think about when he could ask Shen Jingxian to eat face to face. Chapter 333. Why are you looking at me? Shen Jingxian was a little uncomfortable being stared at by Xiaochen. She asked with a slightly red face. A feast for the eyes. Xiaochen continued to look at her. Hurry up and eat. I will go back after eating. Otherwise, my dad will be suspicious. Shen Jingxian said. Although she also wanted to stay with Xiaochen for a while, things had to be done slowly. According to normal logic, it was impossible for her to stay for a long time on the first day with Hero White Fox. Shen Zhenghao would definitely feel that something was wrong. Hee, okay. Xiaochen's seafood fried noodles were also here, but the grade of this restaurant was obviously much higher than the small restaurant at the entrance of the school. This fried noodles not only had shrimp, squid, crab meat, fish tofu, but also a variety of vegetables. At first glance, it was appetizing. Xiaochen added some yuan qi into it, and it was even more delicious. However, he suddenly thought of Shen Jingxian. Is your beef fried noodles delicious? It's okay. What's wrong? Asked Shen Jingxian. If you let me eat it, it will be more delicious, said Xiaochen. I don't believe it. Shen Jingxian knew that Xiaochen could cook, but she couldn't say that the food he ate would be delicious. Is this guy trying to take advantage of me? If you don't believe me, try mine first. Xiaochen pushed his seafood fried noodles to Shen Jingxian. Although Shen Jingxian was skeptical, she didn't refuse. After all, she and Xiaochen were already like that. Eating a bowl of food was nothing. Besides, they had kissed before. Shen Jingxian tasted Xiaochen's seafood fried noodles, and she was slightly surprised. This taste was simply too delicious. The noodles were chewy but not hard. The seafood inside seemed to have just been fished out of the sea. It was very delicious. Shen Jingxian had been to this restaurant before. Although she didn't have much of an impression of it, it was precisely because she didn't have any impression of it that this fast food had nothing special. Otherwise, if it was really so delicious, she would definitely remember it clearly. However, the taste of the beef stir-fried noodles from before could only be said to be okay. It wasn't that delicious. If this was made by a chef, the difference shouldn't be so huge. Was it really as Xiaochen had said, that it tasted good after being eaten by him? Well, I didn't lie to you, did I? Xiaochen looked at Shen Jingxian with a smile. Indeed, how did you do it? Did he use his special ability? Shen Jingxian was a little surprised that Xiaochen was so powerful. It seemed that she was really lucky. If Qing Menjing had made the first move, she wouldn't have been involved. How could she start to exclude her best friend, Menjing? Shen Jingxian, you have learned bad things recently. It's about time. Eat this again. Xiao Chen handed the beef stir-fried noodles that he had eaten a few bites to Shen Jingxian. Shen Jingxian took it and took a bite. The taste really changed. This made her a little puzzled. It tastes good after being stained by your saliva? Then, when we did that, why didn't I feel that it was delicious? Ahem. Xiao Chen was a little impressed by Shen Jingxuan's divergent thinking. He couldn't help but say, it's not the same as food. How about I try to feed you a drink with my mouth? It will definitely be different. Forget it. Although Shen Jingxian thought that this idea seemed good, she was a little reserved. After the meal, Xiao Chen sent Shen Jingxian back. He still parked the car in the parking lot near the community. Then, he put on the Arctic fox mask and walked into the community with Shen Jingxian. Just then, Xie Huang and Xie Chen drove out of the community and saw the two of them. Arctic fox hero, you are back. Do you need me to give you a ride back to the villa? Xie Huang stopped the car and asked. No need. You guys go first. Xiao Chen rejected Xie Huang's proposal. That's fine. Arctic fox hero, see you later. Xie Huang said respectfully. Xiao Chen nodded, and Shen Jingxian, who was next to him, was expressionless. Xiao Chen realized that goddess Shen had a talent for acting. When they returned to the Shen family, Mother Shen, Shen Zhenghao, and Shen Jingmao learned some things about the white fox hero. Shen Jingmao did not dare to speak carelessly at this time. If he were to say anything, it would be bad for him. After all, the white fox hero was not someone to be trifled with. It would only be a matter of seconds before the Shen family was destroyed and killed. Arctic fox hero, you are back. How was it? Did you get along well with my daughter? This was the thing that worried Shen Zhenghao the most. If Shen Jingxian didn't give him face and annoyed Arctic fox, then it wouldn't be fun. After all, he didn't think that Arctic fox was as patient as Chen Jinpeng and Xie Chen. If Shen Jingxian were to throw a tantrum, the white fox would be angry and take it out on the Shen family. That would be a big deal. Not bad. I quite like Jingxuan's character. She is a very kind person. Xiao Chen said, I think Jingxuan's impression of me is quite good. I will often ask her out. I hope Uncle Shen won't stop me. How can that be? Shen Zhenghao immediately shook his head and smiled. As long as Jingxian is satisfied, I won't participate. If there's nothing else, I will go back first. Xiao Chen said, I still have to settle the medicinal herbs. Of course, of course. Shen Zhenghao quickly nodded and said, by the way, Arctic fox hero, may I ask if you are really a superpower user? Or a martial or demonic cultivator? Of course, I just feel that we are so familiar with each other, so I am a little curious about your background. I am a superpower user and also a demonic cultivator. Xiao Chen said lightly, as for my sect and the source of my power, I can't tell you. There are some layers of rules that Uncle Shen should know. Also, Uncle Shen can just call me Arctic Fox from now on. Don't call me hero, that's what outsiders call me. Then I will call you Arctic Fox. Shen Zhenghao nodded. Although the Shen family was an ancient martial arts family, it could not be considered a righteous or demonic sect. This was because the Shen family had all kinds of cultivation. This was a family that focused on developing themselves. They had always believed that as long as the family could develop, it didn't matter whether it was righteous or demonic. Therefore, this was also the reason why the competition for the young master of the Shen family was fierce and unscrupulous. However, Shen Zhenghao felt that Arctic Fox must be a disciple of a big demonic sect because only those giant sects could have such an outstanding person. Moreover, it was also possible to gather so many precious medicinal herbs at once. If it was a small sect leader, it was impossible to take out so many medicinal herbs at once. They might be able to collect them, but to take out so many in such a short time was already a bit unbelievable. Okay, Uncle Shen, then I will leave first. If there is anything, just ask Jingxian to call me. Your matter is my matter. As long as I can do it, I will not hesitate. Xiao Chen said to make Shen Zhenghao feel at ease. Good. Shen Zhenghao was overjoyed. To be able to get such a guarantee from Arctic Fox, it was enough to see how much Shen Jingxian was favored. Perhaps even the Xia family did not have such a promise. Otherwise, the Xia family would not have asked so many times about the medicinal herbs. Xiaochen left just like that, leaving Shen Jingxian sitting on the sofa hugging her legs. She felt sweet in her heart, but her appearance was still very cold. However, it was obvious that her complexion was much better than yesterday. After all, one's mood affected one's complexion. This thing couldn't be faked. However, Shen Zhenghao also thought that it was because the matter had passed for a day. Shen Jingshuan's mood had gradually calmed down. In addition, Arctic Fox was really outstanding. Perhaps she was also very satisfied? Jingxian, how are you getting along with Arctic Fox? Shen Zhenghao waited for Xiao Chen to leave and quickly asked. Although Xiao Chen's one-sided statement had already said that he and Shen Jingxian got along very well, was that just polite words? It's alright. He is better than Shen Jinpeng and Xie Chen. Shen Jingxian hesitated for a moment and nodded. I can see that he cares a lot about me, and this person is also very powerful. Really? Shen Zhenghao was happy after hearing it. Jingxian, since you are satisfied with him, then try to get along with him. However, you also know your own situation. Don't pursue the title of girlfriend or wife. I know. It's a pity that I didn't know him before. If I could have known him earlier, then there wouldn't be so many problems. Shen Jingxian sighed, but her heart was very happy. Yes, it's all Dad's fault. Shen Zhenghao also sighed. But fortunately, Arctic Fox didn't mind this matter. As long as you think he is good, you can try to get along with him. Anyway, after a long time, you will have feelings for him. I will try, Shen Jingxian said. For the Shen family, for my brother, I will have a good relationship with him. Sister. Shen Jingmao's nose was sour. He was a little touched. Do you really think he is good? Are you lying to us? Of course not. Shen Jingxian shook her head. Don't you think he is better than Chen Jingkuan, Chen Jinpeng, and Xie Chen? That's for sure. Shen Zhenghao nodded without hesitation. It seems that this time, the Xia family came to the right place. They brought a good marriage for Jingxian. Dad, I am tired. I will go up and rest for a while. Shen Jingxian wanted to have a good sleep. She didn't sleep well last night. She was almost worried to death. Now that she didn't have to worry, she could also have a good sleep. Okay, you rest. Shen Zhenghao nodded. Shen Jingxian went upstairs. She was too lazy to take a bath. If she knew that the person yesterday was Xiao Chen, she wouldn't have taken a bath yesterday. She was so tired, but she still took a long shower in the bathroom. She was so tired that she almost collapsed. She felt better after eating something, but she was seriously sleep-deprived. She lay down and fell asleep peacefully. Xiao Chen didn't go to school. Since he didn't go to school anymore, it didn't matter if he was a little late. He drove back to Little Hong's pharmacy. As soon as he entered the door, Hongzhu ran over. How was it? Did you sell it for so much money? No. Xiao Chen shook his head. He thought to himself, did Hongzhu's stomach not hurt anymore? Why did he run so fast? Chapter 334. No. Hongzhu was a little disappointed. That's not too little, is it? That's not it, I just doubled your price, Xiao Chen said. Pfft, cough cough. Hongzhu was startled and her eyes widened. Really? Don't lie to me, doubled? Yes. Xiao Chen didn't hide this from Hongzhu. After all, he was already very grateful that Little Hong's pharmacy was willing to sell him medicinal ingredients at such a low price. Now that Little Hong's pharmacy was willing to provide him with medicinal ingredients for cultivation, he was already very grateful. He didn't want to waste Hongzhu's money. Little brother Xiao Chen, big sister loves you to death. Hongzhu hugged Xiao Chen and kissed him on the cheek. You are my little Hongzhu, no matter how much I love you, it will never be too much. Xiao Chen was stunned by Hongzhu's kiss. What are you doing? Nothing, I was just too excited and wanted to show you some friendliness. Hongzhu also realized that she had gone a little overboard, but when she thought about the money, she became extremely excited. Where's the money? Where's the money? It's in my Warriors Guild account. Should I transfer it to you? Xiao Chen knew that he probably couldn't hide the fact that he was White Fox from Hongzhu. In any case, he was already suspected because of the Xia family's matter, so it didn't matter if he admitted it. Okay, add me as a friend. Hongzhu took out her phone and opened the Warriors Guild app. My name is Hongzhu Incantation Yigu. What kind of name is this? It's so hard to pronounce. Xiao Chen searched and finally found such a person. However, when he saw the level, he was shocked. It was actually an SVIP user. Although Xiao Chen didn't understand where the super VIP level came from, he was clearly not a simple person. White Fox. Your name is the one that's hard to pronounce. Hongzhu listened to the request and the two became friends. Xiao Chen transferred 670 million to Hongzhu's account. Then, Hongzhu instantly received a notification that the money had been transferred to her account. Her eyes almost turned green when she saw that. Wah, 670 million. You're really something. I find that working with you is too enjoyable. If there's something like this in the future, don't forget to look for me. All right. Xiao Chen nodded. Although Shen Zhenghao had given him 700 million, the 30 million was Shen Zhenghao's compensation for his hard work, so he naturally would not give it to Hongzhu. He was also a man of principle. That's right, Hongzhu, I'm wondering where you managed to obtain so many rare and precious herbs. As far as I know, even the martial artists' market square doesn't have so many medicinal herbs, right? Hee, no comment. Hongzhu blinked her eyes. Why don't little brother Xiao Chen devote yourself to me, and big sister will tell you. Then forget it, I already have a girlfriend. If Xiao Chen wanted to take Hongzhu back, he would definitely not be able to bear it. What should he do if this little girl seduced him all day long? Then I can't tell you. Hongzhu said, however, in the future, I'll buy all of your medicinal ingredients. Don't be too expensive, as long as I can afford it. Then, thank you very much. This was exactly what Xiao Chen wanted. Otherwise, he would only give Hongzhu half of the money, and the rest of the money could be used for a long time. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave first. All right, Hongzhu waved his hand. I originally thought that you would be able to chat with me. Your compensation for chatting with me is too low. If I want to make money, I'll deduct half of the previous amount from you, Xiao Chen said. I know you're a good person. Good person, we'll be good friends in the future, so why are we still talking about money? How hurtful. Hongzhu said with a smile. You said it yourself. When the time comes, just don't ask me for money. I have to go to school now, see you later, Xiao Chen said as he walked out of the pharmacy. Hongzhu looked at his back and dialed Tai Muqing's number. Help me find out all the files on the White Fox in the Martial Artists Guild. At the same time, after Xia Chen returned to the Xia family, he found a confidant and gave him a photo, saying, help me find out where this person came from and what he does. If possible, bring him to me. Yes, young Master Chen. The confidant took the photo, nodded, and left. Seeing that the confidant had left, Xia Chen also left the company and went directly to the parking lot. He had called someone to tow the damaged Land Rover from yesterday, and it was currently in the parking lot. He planned to take a look and see how the car ended up in the hands of the White Fox swordsman. Xia Chen was such a person. He was very meticulous, but also a little evil. As long as it was unreasonable, he would carefully investigate anything that could be used to his advantage, to see if there was any unexpected use for it. It was also because of this that he could manage the Xia family's business so well that not even a drop of water could leak out. All these years, at least the Xia family had not encountered any problems when it came to purchasing medicinal herbs. He drove directly to the parking lot, As the owner of the Land Rover, Chen Jinpeng, was already dead, no one came to repair the car. Even the Chen family was not in the mood to take care of such a broken car. After completing the procedures, Xia Chen came to the front of the damaged Land Rover. The car was still in the parking lot. So, whose Land Rover did the White Fox swordsman drive today belong to? Could it be Xiao Chen's? But what reason did the White Fox swordsman have to get a car from Xiao Chen? Thinking of this, Xia Chen sat in the Land Rover in front of him and began to examine it carefully. Anyway, there was nothing much to do. Since he was here, he might as well see if there were any clues that he could use. After scanning around, Xia Chen's eyes suddenly fell on the driving recorder on the rearview mirror of the car. Although this driving recorder was aimed at the outside, it could probably record some problems, right? The battery of the driving recorder had been drained. The battery on this thing would only work for a period of time after the car stopped. It was impossible for it to continue working from yesterday to today. However, although the Land Rover's door was damaged, the battery was still charged. He turned on the car's power system and opened the driving recorder. He found yesterday's records in it. Other than the recording of Chen Jinpeng driving to school in the morning, there was a video recording of Chen Jinpeng sending Shen Jingxian to Kai Road Street number 18 Villa. Unfortunately, there was only a picture in the recording. There was no sound, so he couldn't hear the conversation in the car. He could only see the picture in front of the car. After arriving at the villa, Shen Jingxian got out of the car. Chen Jinpeng drove away and came to the door of a pharmacy. After getting out of the car, he went to buy medicine. At this time, the driving recorder recorded Chen Jinpeng's figure. Because after he got out of the car, he had to get out of the driver's seat and walk around the front of the car to walk to the pharmacy by the roadside. After buying the medicine, Chen Jinpeng got in the car again and returned to Kai Road Street number 18. He parked the car, but not long after, Xia Chen felt the picture shake. Someone must have gotten into the car, causing the car to shake left and right. But unfortunately, this person didn't walk past the front of the car, so his appearance wasn't captured by the driving recorder. Then the picture shook again, and the car stopped moving. After a while, the person in the car got out of the car, but his appearance wasn't captured. However, according to Xia Chen's guess, Chen Jinpeng should have been killed. That's not right. Here comes the problem. Wasn't Shen Jingxian raped by Chen Jinpeng? But at this time, Chen Jinpeng was already dead. Although he didn't know who killed him, Chen Jinpeng didn't have the time to commit the crime at all. He sent Shen Jingxian and went to buy medicine. After he came back, he was killed. When did he rape Shen Jingxian? No, something is definitely wrong. There is a problem here. Xia Chen continued to watch the video. Could it be that Chen Jinpeng didn't die, and he came back to life a while later? But unfortunately, until later, when Shen Zhenghao rushed over with Xia Chen and his brother Xia Huang, they appeared in front of the Land Rover. The driving recorder captured the scene, but they didn't see Chen Jinpeng get out of the car. At this moment, Shen Jingxian had already been raped by someone. Xia Chen saw the blood on the sofa and some kind of liquid mixture that only men had. This can't be wrong. Then, what is going on? Could it be that the person who killed Shen Jinpeng and then went to the house to have sex with Shen Jingxian? And this person also disguised as Xiao Chen? Could it be White Fox? Thinking about how the White Fox hero also drove an identical Land Rover, maybe it was the White Fox hero who pretended to be Xiao Chen and framed Shen Jinpeng. Yes. Xia Chen had a flash of inspiration. He felt that he had caught the key point. Now, this matter had formed a complete plot in his mind. That was, it was very likely that White Fox had seen through Chen Jinpeng's plan in advance. Then, he beat him at his own game and got an identical Land Rover. Then, after killing Chen Jinpeng, he disguised as Xiao Chen and went to find Shen Jingxian and raped her. Although his Land Rover might not be used after that, it was always good to be prepared. This unlucky Chen Jinpeng, not only was he killed, but he also became someone else's scapegoat. No wonder when Shen Jingxian saw White Fox's Land Rover, she was very surprised at first. Then, she was pulled into the car by White Fox. It must be Motherf asterisk cur, this White Fox is so scheming. It's like the mantis stalking the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. The person who really played with Shen Jingxian was White Fox, and then he took Shen Jingxian. No wonder he kept mentioning about Shen Jingxian in the Shen family today. Xia Chen was puzzled. Why didn't you come to find me before? He must have developed feelings for me after having sex with her yesterday. That's why today's scene happened. Needless to say, Xia Chen's brain was quite good. He could deduce so many things from such a small detail. Although he went in the wrong direction, the result was right. Thinking of this, Xia Chen was angry. You're good, White Fox. Xia Chen, can't beat you now, and I don't dare to offend you. But if the Chen family knows that you killed Qin Jinpeng, I'm afraid you'll be finished without me doing anything. Chapter 335. The Qin family was not to be trifled with. Chen Huanling was the vice president of the warrior guild. Moreover, the Qin family had no descendants. How could warlord Chen let it go? A cold smile flashed across Xia Chen's face. Then, he took out the memory card from the car recorder and put it back in its original position. He was afraid that someone would notice something was wrong, so he pretended to be serious. After doing all this, Xia Chen left the parking lot and drove back to the Xia family's company. After returning to the company, the first thing he did was to send Shen Zhenghao a photo of the White Fox pulling Shen Jingxian into the Land Rover, along with the previous video. He knew Shen Zhenghao's email address, but he used an anonymous email address. In short, he would not be traced back to him. The purpose of this was to see if he could destroy the relationship between the White Fox and the Shen family. If the Shen family knew that Qin Jinpeng was killed by the White Fox, there was a 50% chance that they would draw a line with the White Fox, right? After all, if they did not draw a line, once this matter was spread, it was very likely that the Shen family had found a new marriage partner, so they joined forces with the White Fox to kill Qin Jinpeng and frame Xiao Qin. When that happened, how could they explain it clearly? The Shen family would probably become enemies with the Qin family because of this. Although the Qin family was not as powerful as the Shen family, it was still a life-and-death feud. How could the Qin family just let it go? The Qin family was not the cowardly Sun family. The Sun family did not dare to do anything, but it did not mean that the Qin family would not dare. When that happened, whether the Qin family killed the White Fox or the Shen family and the White Fox broke off, it would all be beneficial to him. Shen Jingxian, I will definitely have you. Even if I can't have you, I will not let anyone else have you. Xia Chen was a selfish and possessive person. No one in the family knew that Xia Chen's ultimate goal was to become the head of the Xia family. However, he had never said it out loud, not even to his father. He had only been quietly looking for an opportunity. In the email to Shen Zhenghao, the content said, "Why is White Fox driving Xiao Chen's car? Shen Jingxian was raped by Qin Jinpeng? There are many suspicious points." Then, the email was signed, "A Conscientious Insider." After finishing all this, Xia Chen pressed the send button, and the email was successfully sent. Shen Zhenghao was thinking about how he could cooperate with White Fox in the future and help Shen Jingmao obtain the position of young master. After all, with hero White Fox's participation, Shen Jingmao's advantage would be much more obvious. Shen Zhenghao was also a cruel and merciless person. Even though he couldn't be cruel to his children, he didn't care about people from the same clan. This was because those people had treated Shen Jingmao very coldly. Before Shen Jingmao was designated as a competitor for the heir, he was excluded. The reason was because Shen Jingmao's mother didn't bring much help to the Shen family. So from that moment on, Shen Zhenghao secretly vowed to push his son to that position. Otherwise, he would have no right to speak in the Shen family. If he failed, he could only separate from the family. In fact, such examples could be found everywhere. The Yu family of Songming, the Tang family of Songming, and so on were all separated from the main family. They failed to compete for the core of the family and left the main family to establish a new branch family. Although they were still connected to the main family, they only existed as a branch and would not participate in the affairs of the main family. Only in this way, the main family wouldn't be ruthless. After many years, they could still ease the relationship and cooperate with each other. However, Shen Zhenghao was not satisfied. If he was independent from the Shen family, he wouldn't even be as good as the ordinary families in Songning. If he wanted to become an ordinary family, he wouldn't know how long it would take for him to be independent. While he was pondering, his phone received an email. Shen Zhenghao opened it and glanced at it. He was shocked. What does this mean? Who sent this? Looking at the photo in the email, Shen Zhenghao thought for a moment and clicked on the attached video below. White Fox Hero was driving Xiao Chen's car, and Shen Jinpeng didn't succeed at all. Instead, he died in the car directly. This truth made Shen Zhenghao unable to recover for a long time. What kind of inside story was hidden in this? What kind of unknown secrets were hidden? Could it be that the person who had sex with Shen Jingxian yesterday wasn't Shen Jinpeng, but the real Xiao Chen? Everyone's thinking was different. The first thing Shen Zhenghao thought of was that since it wasn't Shen Jinpeng disguised as Xiao Chen and Shen Jingxian, then the person who had sex with Shen Jingxian was still Xiao Chen's appearance. If it wasn't the real Xiao Chen, then who could it be? After all, Shen Zhenghao had suspected Xiao Chen before. Although he felt that it was impossible between him and his daughter, he found out that the person who drove Shen Jingxian back that night was indeed Xiao Chen. Moreover, when Shen Jingxian came out of the car, she looked like she was in love. Shen Zhenghao became suspicious. Of course, his thoughts were different from Xia Chen. Xia Chen looked down on White Fox Hero, but Shen Zhenghao didn't. He felt that White Fox Hero was very powerful. If White Fox Hero wanted Shen Jingxian, he could have just talked to him directly. This was an easy thing to do. There was no need to disguise as Xiao Chen to cause trouble, and there was no need to kill Shen Jinpeng just like that. Since he could kill someone without leaving a trace, why would he go through so much trouble? He could have just let him die naturally. However, the suspicious point was the cause of Shen Jinpeng's death. If Shen Jinpeng didn't do anything to Shen Jingxian, then the Shen family owed the Chen family a lot. Shen Zhenghao fell into deep thought. However, this didn't have much to do with him. He was a little annoyed that Xiao Chen had taken advantage of him. In his opinion, if Shen Jingxian hadn't done it with Xiao Chen, then her value wouldn't be what it was now. Maybe White Fox Hero would let her be his official wife. Even if White Fox Hero had a wife, she could be his official concubine, right? But now, she was just a lover who sneaked around. Thinking of this, Shen Zhenghao went upstairs to find Shen Jingxian. He knocked on Shen Jingshuan's door. After a while, Shen Jingxian opened the door with sleepy eyes. She looked at her father with some doubts. "Dad, what's the matter?" "Jingxian, look at this first." Then, Shen Zhenghao didn't say much. He directly handed his mobile phone to Shen Jingxian and let her see the content. "Oh." Shen Jingxian took the mobile phone. After looking at the content, her face changed and became a little pale. Who was so wicked to secretly take this video? Then, she clicked on the video. At first, Shen Jingxian didn't feel anything, but later, she found the problem. In fact, it couldn't be considered a problem. She knew the truth, so she could only say that this video restored the truth. "Jingxian, tell the truth. The person who touched you yesterday, was it Shen Jinpeng or Xiao Chen?" Shen Zhenghao looked at Shen Jingxian with a serious expression. "Yesterday." Shen Jingxian lowered her head. "I don't know. At that time, they all looked the same. I was confused. How could I tell?" "Jingxian, look at Dad." Shen Zhenghao said angrily, "You have been a kind and honest girl since you were a child. You have never lied. Tell Dad, what happened between you and Xiao Chen?" What happened?" Shen Jingxian pretended not to understand. Yes, she had never lied before, but she felt that she was a little degenerate now. She actually lied for Xiao Chen. "Don't think that I don't know anything." Shen Zhenghao said, the person yesterday was actually Xiao Chen, right? You weren't willing to marry Chen Jinpeng, so you beat him at his own game and gave yourself to Xiao Chen. Who would have thought that Chen Jinpeng died accidentally? Am I right? What are you talking about? Shen Jingxian was stunned. It seems to be different from what I thought. Father doesn't seem to know that Xiao Chen is the White Fox hero. Before, after Qing Menjing's birthday party, it was Xiao Chen who sent you back, right? Shen Zhenghao continued to ask. At that time, the car was parked at the door of our villa. You were in the car for so long before you got out. What did you do in the car with him? Shen Jingxian bit her lip. She was shocked. She didn't expect her father to even know about this. Why didn't he say it before? But at this time, Shen Jingxian certainly couldn't admit it. I just sat for a little longer. Do you think I couldn't see your face when you got out of the car? Dad is an experienced person. Don't you understand? Shen Zhenghao said, Jingxian, you have changed. You have become dishonest. Shen Jingxian knew that her father must be suspicious, but she hesitated and said, Dad, what do you want me to do when you look for me? She turned from passive to active. Anyway, her father already knew. So what? It was better to ask him what he wanted. Anyway, Shen Jingxian would never speak carelessly. She couldn't reveal the matter of the white fox. Jingxian. Shen Zhenghao was also angry before, but now that he was asked by Shen Jingxian, he really didn't know what to do. What could he do? What happened had happened, and it was already irreversible. He could only reprimand her with some anger. Do you know that if you didn't have this matter, how much would the white fox hero value you? In the future, even if you can't be his legal wife, you can still be his concubine, right? But now? You can only be his lover in secret. Do you know the difference between the two of you? This is not only for the Shen family, but also for your own future happiness. Dad, I've grown up. I know what I'm doing. Shen Jingxian whispered. What do you know? So, you admit it? I don't understand. What's so good about Xiao Chen? A loser who was kicked out of the family. The Qing family didn't want him anymore. You went to pick him up. Aren't you ashamed? Shen Zhenghao said angrily. Chapter 336. Then. What if there comes a day when Xiao Chen makes a comeback? For example, what if he has the same ability as White Fox? Shen Jingxian hesitated and asked. Him? The same as White Fox? It would be great if he could catch up to Chen Jinpeng. What kind of future can a cultivation wastrel have? Shen Zhenghao said disdainfully, but then again, even if he has the same ability as White Fox, even if he is stronger than him, what's the use? He's just an abandoned son of the Xiao family. He has no connections or background. Even if he returns to the Xiao family, he'll only be the best of the younger generation. Even if he's a stage 7 or 8 inner force martial artist, he won't be of any help to the Shen family. Can he summon the wind and rain like hero White Fox? Can he get as many precious medicinal herbs as he wants? This is because of his identity as a disciple of a big sect. Oh. Shen Jingxian sighed in her heart. Sure enough, Xiao Chen was right. He had his reasons for not exposing his identity. If he was exposed, her father would not respect him so much. Even if he had the ability to get the medicinal herbs, her father would only think that he was lucky and would not respect him so much. Do you like Xiao Chen? Shen Zhenghao asked angrily. No. Shen Jingxian shook her head and said, I will be with White Fox. You don't have to worry about this. I won't have anything to do with Xiao Chen anymore. But you can't make things difficult for him. This matter must be kept a secret, okay? As long as you can be with hero White Fox wholeheartedly, I can pretend that I don't know about this. Shen Zhenghao thought about it. Since it had already happened, there was no point in targeting Xiao Chen. He might as well ask for a promise from Shen Jingxian. Then I'll go back to sleep. Shen Jingxian said in her heart. Other than not revealing that White Fox is Xiao Qin, I will still be with Xiao Qin. On the surface, I just need to be careful. Alright, you rest. Shen Zhenghao ignored the email. Anyway, this matter had nothing to do with the Shen family. It didn't matter whether Qin Jinpeng did anything to Shen Jingxian or not. It was impossible for the Shen family to unite with the Qin family through marriage. After Xia Qin sent the message, he waited to see what Shen Zhenghao would do. He didn't send it directly to the Qin family. Things had to be done step by step, right? He enjoyed the feeling of strategizing behind the scenes. Every time it seemed that the storm was about to pass, he would continue to throw out heavy bombs, making the calm situation strange again. Of course, this was not enough. He needed to go to the hospital again to get a copy of Qin Jinpeng's autopsy report. He needed to see if Qin Jinpeng had sex before he died. Theoretically, Qin Jinpeng did not have time to shower, and he should not have used condoms. Otherwise, why would he buy birth control pills? As for Qiao Yuliang, there was no need to mention how depressed he was. Xiao Qin didn't die, but Qin Jinpeng died first. I sent a message to Xiao Qin yesterday. Why didn't Xiao Qin show up? Could it be that Xiao Qin was suspicious? That's right. Qin Jinpeng, that idiot, parked his car in front of the villa and even died in the car. Xiao Qin saw it. He definitely wouldn't enter the villa again. Even if he didn't know that there was a dead person in the car, it would be strange if he didn't suspect it when he saw a car that was exactly the same as his parked there. Qin Jinpeng was dead. Qiao Yuliang wasn't sad, but he was depressed that he couldn't complete the task that Qing Mingxiang gave him. In the future, there would be no one who could kill Xiao Qin with him. Without Qin Jinpeng, the clown, in many cases, Qiao Yuliang was somewhat restrained. For example, when he invited Xiao Qin to race, Qin Jinpeng could use the name of his underling to flatter Xiao Qin, but could Qiao Yuliang do it? Even if he humbled himself, Xiao Qin might not believe it, right? Thinking of this, Qiao Yuliang had a headache. Without Qin Jinpeng's help, it was getting more and more difficult to deal with Xiao Qin. How could he kill Xiao Qin? Now, he was like a headless fly. He had no clue at all. In desperation, he could only call Qing Mingxiang's phone. Young Master Qing Jinpeng is dead. The plan has been put on hold. Next, I want to kill Xiao Qin. It's a little difficult. I hope you can understand. Qiao Yuliang said stubbornly. Don't you have any ability? Without Qin Jinpeng, you can't kill Xiao Qin by yourself? If you have a way, you want to do it, but you can't. Qing Mingxiang hung up the phone, making Qiao Yuliang shiver. Indeed, what Qing Mingxiang said was right. Was he, Qiao Yuliang, so incompetent? Did he need Qin Jinpeng's help to do things? Couldn't he find a chance to kill Xiao Qin by himself? However, there really wasn't a good way. Qiao Yuliang couldn't assassinate Xiao Qin by himself, right? That wasn't realistic, and it was easy to be exposed. After thinking about it, he decided to call Li Shaning to see if he had any good ideas. Young Master Li, I'm Qiao Yuliang. How have you been? Aren't you coming to Songning City? Are you here? Let me entertain you. Qiao Yuliang said enthusiastically. Oh, young Master Qiao. I haven't gone yet. I plan to go tomorrow. Li Shaning said, if you didn't call me, I was going to call you. I heard that Qin Jinpeng is dead. What happened? AI, don't mention it. I don't know what happened. I don't even know who killed him. I'm completely confused. Qiao Yuliang said, with his death, I lost a right-hand man. I want to kill Xiao Qin, but I don't have a good idea. By the way, young Master Li, do you still want to deal with Xiao Qin? Yes. It's just that my grandfather was angry last time. I lost so much ancient jade. He asked me to plan before I act. This time, I can't be impulsive. Li Shaning said, let's meet and talk about it in detail. Let's see if there is a good way. Okay, then you must call me when you come. I will pick you up. Qiao Yuliang said. No problem. Li Shaning also wanted to retaliate against Xiao Chen. It just so happened that Qiao Yuliang contacted him. Before, he inexplicably killed Qin Jinpeng, which really scared him for a while. But after a day, there was no bad news about him, which also made him relieved. It seemed that no one had found out. Xiao Chen drove to the school. At this moment, it was already afternoon class. He quickly walked into the classroom. Song Huawu glanced at him and asked, "What did you do in the morning?" "I was looking for you." "You were looking for me? What for?" Xiao Chen asked. Tomorrow night is the opening day of the Songming Summit between the righteous and demonic sects. People from both the righteous and demonic sects will come here to register for the event. Song Huawu was puzzled when she saw Xiao Chen's shocked expression. "Didn't Yi Xiaoya tell you?" "No." Xiao Chen took out his mobile phone and glanced at it. He didn't find any messages from Yi Bia. This little girl probably thought that he knew about it through other channels. After all, in her eyes, he was also a member of the demon sect. As long as she informed him to accompany her to attend the summit, he would definitely pay attention to this news. Song Huawu was a little speechless. "I'll be there tomorrow too. As the referee of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, I have to guarantee and warn these people that it will start from the summit and end after the summit. If there's any hatred during the summit, it will end after the summit." "Can people die at the summit?" Xiao Chen asked. "Then I can't do anything about it. If they die, so be it. Anyway, at the level of warriors, there will be casualties. As long as it's within a controllable range and no large-scale conflicts break out, it's fine. Their internal conflicts will be resolved at the next summit," Song Huawu said. "Then don't get to know me tomorrow," Xiao Chen said. "Don't worry, I can't say that I know you." Song Huawu said, "If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have paid attention to them directly. I would have directly intervened and become the referee." Song Huawu was very satisfied with Xiao Chen's undercover work. "Keep up the good work in the future." "Well, then are you biased towards the righteous sect or the demon sect?" Xiao Chen asked. "It doesn't matter whether I am biased or not. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau is the same as the Warrior Guild. It is a neutral organization. Of course, the Warrior Guild is gradually deteriorating now. The upper echelons are occupied by the righteous sects, so..." Song Huawu suddenly stopped and just said, "Let's talk about these things later." Oh. Xiao Chen didn't care. After all, this had nothing to do with him. He didn't have the concept of righteous sect or demon sect. Whoever provoked him would be punished, no matter where they came from. "Well, you be careful. Don't be tricked by Yi Xiaoya." Song Huawu reminded him, "Be careful not to be used as cannon fodder. This time, there are many experts from the righteous sect. Even the demon sect is divided into many sects and families. They are not monolithic. Make your move after everything is done. Don't get involved randomly. It's not good for you." "Understood. Thank you for the reminder." Xiao Chen nodded. He knew that Song Huawu said it for his own good. But to be honest, with Xiao Chen's current strength of the Qi refinement stage level 6, he was a little proud. "What did you do in the morning?" "I've been looking for you all morning." Not long after Xiao Chen sat down, he received a message from the Missy on his phone. "I went to buy medicine, but my car broke down. I went to repair it." "What's wrong?" Xiao Chen quickly replied with a message. He felt a little guilty. "My dad is treating me to dinner tonight. You should go too." Cheng Menjing replied. In fact, it was Cheng Zhongming who called Cheng Menjing and asked him to invite Xiao Chen to dinner tonight. "Okay." Xiao Chen agreed without thinking. He had a good impression of Cheng Zhongming. If Cheng Zhongming didn't let him live in the Missy's villa, he would have been living on the streets. Even though the elder heaven ancestor was there, it was the most difficult period of Xiao Chen's life. A drop of kindness should be returned with a spring. "Okay. Don't forget that I asked Jean Bebe to leave first. Don't make me wait like an idiot. Cheng Menjing said. Of course not. I'll wait for you in the parking lot. Xiao Chen said. Chapter 337. In the afternoon, Lu Zhenming came to look for Xiao Chen. Ma Gangmen finally came out of the hospital. His injury was quite serious. Without the help of a pharmacist, he had been in the hospital for more than a month. Xiao Chen, you said that after the birthday party, there was no progress between me and Cheng Menjing. Can you help me to ask Cheng Menjing out so that we can go out and play this weekend? Lu Zhenming came over and asked. It's the weekend. I don't have time. You can make an appointment yourself. Xiao Chen waved his hand and said. Don't. Cheng Menjing said that if you don't go, she won't go either. Lu Zhenming said, Xiao Chen, can you help me? I will help you find the ancient jade. Oh, that's fine. I will try. Xiao Chen didn't know if the summit would start immediately after the registration, but it finally started. The summit was also held at night. There should be time during the day. If Lu Zhenming could really provide the ancient jade, then he could pay attention to him. Qin Jinpeng was killed by some nosy guy. Xiao Chen still wanted to keep him. This idiot always gave him good things. It would be a pity if he died like this. Xiao Chen didn't know if Chao Yuliang would succeed him. Okay, I will wait for your good news. Lu Zhenming said quickly, today is Thursday. The day after tomorrow or the day after tomorrow is fine. And I will ask when the time comes. Xiao Chen said. He suddenly felt a little embarrassed. It seemed that he was using Miss in exchange for benefits. Although Miss was not his fiancée, Xiao Chen's guilt was heavier. When they were engaged, Xiao Chen didn't treat her well. He pursued her best friend, Shen Jingxian, in front of her. Now he broke off the engagement with her and even secretly slept with Shen Jingxian. Now he was using her to exchange for benefits. Did Miss owe him? I will go back to look for ancient jade. Lu Zhenming rubbed his hands and said flatteringly. When he returned to his seat, Ma Gangmen suddenly felt a little unhappy. Brother Ming, did you compromise with that kid? Compromise my ass. I just used him to get close to Cheng Menjing. Lu Zhenming didn't have time to tell Ma Gangmen what had happened recently. He took this opportunity to tell Ma Gangmen about Xiao Chen's identity and that he was Cheng Menjing's follower. It turns that Brother Ming is using this kid. But he really got lucky. Not only did he not get beaten up, but he also got so many benefits. Ma Gangmen suddenly realized. Not only did he not get beaten up, but he also got so many benefits. Ma Gangmen suddenly realized. Although he has nothing to do with Cheng Menjing, I feel disgusted when I think that this bastard is Cheng Menjing's ex-fiancé. If I don't kill him, I won't feel at ease. Brother Ming is really an ambitious and ruthless person. His forbearance and acting skills are really amazing. Ma Gangmen breathed a sigh of relief. If Lu Zhenming really went to Xiao Chen's side, then he would be depressed to death. Staying in the hospital for a month would be in vain. Gangmen, don't worry. You won't be beaten for nothing. It won't be long before I hook up with Cheng Menjing. I will kill Xiao Chen, Lu Zhenming said. Brother Ming, do you think that Xiao Chen is playing with you? Every time, he will cheat you of some good stuff, but you and Cheng Menjing have no progress at all. Are you giving him all the good stuff? Skinny Monkey felt that something was wrong. Although it seemed that Xiao Chen was helping Lu Zhenming, it was just pure help. There was no substantial progress. Thinking of this, Lu Zhenming also frowned. Although he was a bit of a tiger, he wasn't completely brainless. Previously, he was hot-blooded and felt that Xiao Chen could help him, so he lowered his stance and pretended to be Xiao Chen's lackey. Now that he thought about it carefully, the things that Xiao Chen could help him with were very limited. What exactly did Xiao Chen mean? Was he really going to help or was he pretending to help? Let me see this trip. If this kid is playing with me, I will King kill him. Lu Zhenming nodded, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. That's right, Brother Ming. Back when we were in second high school, we had the final say. Now that Xiao Chen is here, we've almost become his lackey. This won't do. Skinny Monkey also nodded in agreement. Recently, it was obvious that their words in the second high school were a bit less effective. This trend couldn't be allowed. Okay, I got it. Let's see if this kid is willing to follow the rules. If not, I will find someone to kill him. Lu Zhenming nodded and said, anyone can be a follower. If he is dead, I will do it. Yes, Brother Ming, think about it. With your identity and the background of the underworld, isn't it more than enough to protect Qing Menjing? Ma Gangmen hated Xiao Chen to the bone. He couldn't wait to kill him immediately. The main thing is that guy, Chao Yuliang. If Xiao Chen is dead, can he take advantage of the situation? This kid is very bad, and the Chao family is also a bit more powerful than our Lu family. If the Qing family wants to choose, they will definitely choose the Chao family. Lu Zhenming said, now I want to rope in Xiao Chen because I want him to restrain Chao Yuliang. But Brother Ming, you have an advantage. You and Qing Menjing are in the same class. Chao Yuliang is too far away. Skinny Monkey analyzed. That makes sense. Lu Zhenming pondered for a moment, if this kid is willing to follow the rules, then let him live for 2 more days. If not, then don't blame me for being rude. Xiao Chen didn't know that Lu Zhenming planned to betray him, but it was nothing. In the past, Xiao Chen was afraid of him, so he had to find ways to restrain him. But now, unless Lu Zhenming found a more powerful killer, with his strength, Xiao Chen didn't put him in his eyes at all. After school, Xiao Chen waited in the parking lot for the late Mississippi. Qing Menjing got in the car, but she said, what is this thing? It's killing me, ? Xiao Chen was also stunned. What is this thing? He saw Qing Menjing took out a hair clip from under her skirt. He suddenly wondered, Isn't this Jingshuan's hair clip? Jingshuan's? Xiao Chen's heart tightened. He didn't know whether he should laugh or cry. Last time, Jean Bebe found some unknown liquid, and today, Qing Menjing found Shen Jingshuan's hair clip. He was really, yes. She bought it with me. Why is it in your car? Qing Menjing looked at the hair clip in her hand in confusion. Has Jingxian been in your car recently? Just at your birthday party last time, Xiao Chen said, pretending that he didn't know anything. Oh. Then why didn't Bebe find it when she was sitting here? I even took it once. Qing Menjing found it strange. I cleaned a car today. Maybe the workers saw it in the car when I was cleaning it, picked it up, and put it on the seat. Xiao Chen did find a car wash to change the seat covers today, so that Jean Bebe and the young mistress would not complain that there was something on them. That's possible. Qing Menjing agreed with him this time. She nodded and said, I'll call her this weekend and ask her to come to my house. Then, I'll give it back to her. This weekend? Xiao Chen was slightly stunned. It seemed that the news that Shen Jingxian had been raped by Chen Jinpeng hadn't been widely spread. At least, Qing Menjing didn't know it yet. Therefore, Xiao Chen pretended that he didn't know anything. Right, Lu Zhenming said that he wants to ask you out this weekend. Do you want to go? Did you promise him? Qing Menjing glanced at Xiao Chen. Did he give you any benefits? Yes. He promised to find some ancient jade for me. Xiao Chen didn't hide it. Ancient jade? What do you want it for? To sell it for money? Qing Menjing was a little confused. No. It's good for changing my physique, Xiao Chen said. It can help me practice. Oh. Qing Menjing answered and looked out of the window. After a while, she said, then you promise him. Anyway, I'm free. If you don't think it's good, I'll turn him down. I feel that he's using you. Since Miss Qing agreed, Xiao Chen felt a little embarrassed. You are my servant. If you're awesome, I'll be proud. Cheng Menjing said, "You should work hard to practice and become a warrior as soon as possible. Then, you can go back to the Xiao family." "Huh? Are you driving me away?" Xiao Chen was stunned. "You figure it out yourself." Cheng Menjing shook her head and stopped talking. As Xiao Chen drove, his heart was moved and filled with emotion. He couldn't understand Miss Cheng's thoughts. He felt that Miss Cheng's words were mixed with an inexplicable emotion. The place where Qing Zhongming was treating them today was not the Qing family's property, but a tea house. Xiao Chen knew about this tea house because it was the Xiao family's property. Xiao Chen couldn't understand why Qing Zhongming would choose this place as the venue. In addition, he thought about what Miss Cheng had said before. Did Miss Cheng know something in advance? Could it be that the Xiao family wanted him to go back? Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. He didn't think that the Xiao family would find out that he was the white fox. He thought that no one should know about this except for Shen Jingxian and Hong Zhu. Oh, there was also Song Huawu. However, little Song Huawu didn't participate in the family's struggles. She was like a referee and wouldn't casually speak about this matter. Moreover, she had promised him. Therefore, Xiao Chen parked the car in front of the tea house. With doubts in his heart, he went with Miss Cheng to a high-class private room on the 3rd floor. "Dad, Uncle Xiao." Cheng Menjing wasn't surprised that Xiao Hai was also here. "Uncle Cheng, Uncle Xiao," Xiao Chen said. As expected, he followed Miss Cheng in and greeted them politely. Xiao Hai was slightly stunned. Looking at the somewhat distant Xiao Chen, he couldn't help but smile bitterly. Meanwhile, Qing Zhongming said with a straight face, "Xiao Chen, is calling your second uncle an Uncle Xiao?" Xiao Chen's heart stirred slightly. To be honest, the resentment he felt when he was kicked out of the Xiao family was basically gone. After calming down, he also thought through many things. He reckoned that the Xiao family was also under pressure. After all, sometimes kicking him out of the Xiao family was equivalent to protecting him. Now that the Qing family's anger had been vented, they wouldn't keep their eyes on him. Chapter 338. Otherwise, Xiao Chen would have been harassed by the Qing family every day, and it would have been impossible for him to be as free as he was now. "Second uncle." Xiao Chen called out, and his heart ached a little. He said that he didn't care about the identity of the Xiao family, but that was to comfort himself. Even though he was a cultivator at the 6th level of the refinement stage and had the strength comparable to a level 7 inner force warrior, Xiao Chen still felt that he was a member of the Xiao family. "Xiao Chen, I know that you may hate second uncle in your heart, and you may not understand, and you may be reluctant to call me second uncle, but second uncle actually has his own difficulties." Xiao Hai sighed and said, "Today, I asked Brother Qing to meet you, because I want to make it clear to you. You might not understand why you were implicated by my elder brother's false rumors. Why didn't your grandfather, your uncle, or Xiao Xiao get involved? Why did he only drive you out of the Xiao family? I understand that the son should pay his father's debts." Xiao Chen grinned, "Second uncle, I am not unwilling. In fact, as long as I know that you did not deliberately drive me out cold-bloodedly, I will be satisfied. At least I am much better than Tang Tang. If I am useless, I will be driven out, and if I am useful, I will get back. Your Uncle Cheng is also here today. In fact, he knows about this. At the beginning, I asked him to take care of you, so you went to Menjing and became her servant. This is not an insult to you, but a disguised protection for you. Otherwise, the Qing family will not be able to vent their anger, and your life will be very difficult." Xiao Hai continued, "At the beginning, I did not tell you this. In fact, I was afraid that you were not calm at that time. But after this period of observation, I think you have regained your calmness, and you should be able to understand our difficulties before." "Of course I understand." Xiao Chen smiled and said, "In fact, on the day Uncle Qing came to me, I had already thought it through. If you don't believe me, you can ask Uncle Qing." Xiao Hai looked at Qing Zhongming in surprise, and saw Qing Zhongming nodding. He was a little surprised. Qing Zhongming did not mention this before, but now it seemed that Xiao Chen had known it all along. Xiao Chen, our Xiao family now has the help of the Sun family, and now we are gradually turning the situation around. When our Xiao family is at its peak again, it will be time for you to return to the Xiao family. Xiao Hai walked over, patted Xiao Chen's shoulder and said, "It can be considered as God's blessing for the Xiao family, allowing the Sun family, which originally could have risen in power, to suddenly lose so many people. This has given our Xiao family a great opportunity. And I believe that the Xiao family will definitely get better." Xiao Chen thought in his heart, this Sun family. Are they really that kind? This family is a little shameless. But it's okay, since they dared to cheat the Xiao family, I'll just let the white fox send your whole family on horseback riding again. But at this stage, you still have to suffer for a period of time. Xiao Hai said, but with your Uncle Cheng looking after you, there shouldn't be a problem. Your Uncle Cheng has also agreed to try his best to delay the issue of Menjing's marriage. When the time comes for you to return to the Xiao family, your marriage will still be valid. Ah. Xiao Chen was suddenly stunned. Me, and young miss, there will still be a day? But, what about Goddess Shen? Who wants to marry him? I don't want to have a boyfriend now. Cheng Menjing said with a slightly red face. It just so happens that Chao Yuliang made a big fool of himself. Now it's not easy to connect with the Cheng family through marriage. Cheng Zhongming said, I don't know why Chao Yuliang went crazy that day. Cheng Menjing glanced at Xiao Chen and blushed a little. Xiao Chen now finally knew why young miss said those words in the car. It was probably that Cheng Zhongming had talked to her in advance, so young miss was considered to be on his side, so it was reasonable for her to cheat Lu Zhenming with him. But, in the future, do I really want to resume the marriage with young miss? However, if young miss were to marry someone else, Xiao Chen's heart was definitely not willing. This kind of possessiveness was very strange. Xiao Chen, but there is another piece of bad news. This may affect the marriage between you and Cheng Menjing. Speaking of this, Xiao Hai paused and continued, the marriage between the Cheng family and the Xiao family must be put on the agenda. Of course, I am talking about the matter between Cheng Mingxiang and Xiao Xiao. Today, the Cheng family discussed this matter at the family meeting. Cheng Zhongfan plans to bring Cheng Mingxiang to the Xiao family to propose marriage in a few days. Oh. Xiao Chen was slightly stunned. Is it really not possible? Then, isn't there no hope for Qi Zhigao? The Cheng family will offer a lot of conditions, but your grandfather insisted that you return to the Xiao family. On this point, there is a conflict with the conditions of the Cheng family, so both sides are not willing to give in. This matter is temporarily put on hold, but your Uncle Cheng said that this time, it seems that the Cheng family is not so determined. As for the specifics, old Master Cheng didn't say anything. We will know in a few days. Xiao Hai continued. It doesn't matter if I go back or not. The important thing is that Xiao Xiao doesn't like Cheng Mingxiang. Xiao Chen said, I think Qi Zhigao is not bad. Qi Zhigao. I asked Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao can only say that she doesn't hate him. If she has to choose between the two, she will choose Qi Zhigao. Xiao Hai shook his head. I asked her who she likes, but she didn't tell me. Of course, your grandfather may not pay attention to her opinion. You are the root of the Xiao family. If you return to the Xiao family can prosper in the future. Otherwise, the Xiao family will have no successor. If you don't come back, the Xiao family will cease to exist after some time. Second uncle, please persuade Grandpa. I'm really fine. It doesn't matter whether I go back or not. Xiao Chen still had a plan. The decline of the Xiao family was only temporary. Once one day, he could look down on Songming with the strength of the white fox without using the identity of the white fox. All the resources behind him would be invested into the Xiao family. At that time, the first aristocratic family in Songming would be the Xiao family. Alright, since you insist, I will go and persuade him. Xiao Hai nodded. When the Xiao family regains its glory, even if Cheng Mingxiang and Xiao Xiao are together, it won't affect the relationship between you and Cheng Menjing. After all, a strong alliance will allow the two families to cooperate more closely. Well, let's not talk about this. I'm hungry. Let's eat something. Xiao Chen didn't want to talk too much about this topic. He really didn't care about it. The knot in his heart had been untied. It was enough to know that the Xiao family didn't abandon him. It didn't matter whether he went back in name or not. If he wanted to go back now, even if he used the identity of the white fox in front of everyone, no one would dare to say no. But Xiao Chen didn't think it was necessary. What Qing Zhongming and Xiao Hai didn't expect was that Qing Zhongfan brought Qing Mingxiang and Old Master Qing to the Xiao family. This time, even Old Master Qing went. It was enough to show the importance that the Qing family attached to the marriage. Qing Zhongfan deliberately chose a time when Qing Zhongming wasn't at home to do these things. If Qing Zhongming was here, he would always find some reasons to object. Now that Qing Zhongming wasn't here, it was convenient for him to settle the matter. When he came back, there would be nothing to say. Qing Zhongfan actually knew that Qing Zhongming and Xiao Feng had a good relationship back then. So, Qing Zhongming definitely didn't want Qing Menjing and Xiao Chen to break off the engagement. If Qing Mingxiang and Xiao Xiao got married, unless the Xiao family became as strong as before, it would be impossible for them to get married twice in a row. That was unrealistic. So, Qing Zhongming had always been a little opposed to the marriage between Qing Mingxiang and Xiao Xiao. This time, he didn't bring him. Xiao Yuanshan was a little surprised that the Qing family came with so many people. When he saw Old Master Qing, he immediately stood up to welcome him. Old Master Qing, have you thought it through? Are you planning to let Xiao Chen return to the Xiao family? After Qing Menjing's banquet, the Qing family began to frequently contact the Xiao family. It was just that the two families' conditions weren't the same, so it was temporarily put on hold. But today, it seemed that the Qing family intended to compromise and carry out the final negotiations. Otherwise, why would Old Master Qing come personally? Hee, Brother Xiao, you are still so anxious. Old Master Qing smiled, but you are right. This time, we indeed intend to agree to this condition. But, isn't your Xiao family going to make their stand? When are you going to let Xiao Xiao marry into the Qing family? This condition was stuck here. At first, the Qing family didn't want to compromise, but the Xiao family didn't want to compromise either. So, it was a stalemate. But Qing Mingxiang thought about it. Anyway, Xiao Chen's temporary return wouldn't affect killing him. He was going to die sooner or later, so what's the harm in agreeing to it first? It was just a name. However, there had to be a condition. They couldn't let Xiao Chen return so quickly. After all, Xiao Chen had returned to the Xiao family. With the Xiao family's protection, it would be even harder to kill him. So, this time, they came to set the condition. What does it have to do with this? Xiao Yuanshan couldn't help but ask. It has a lot to do with it. Old Master Qing said, for the sake of fairness, I'm afraid that your Xiao family will go back on their words. The day that Xiao Xiao marries into the Qing family will be the day that Xiao Chen returns. How about it? But, our two families have decided on the marriage first. This can be written in the engagement document to prevent both of us from going back on our words. Oh. Xiao Yuanshan frowned. Logically speaking, what Old Master Qing said was reasonable. But the main problem wasn't it too long? Xiao Xiao was currently in middle school. When she could marry into the Qing family, she would be at least 18 years old, right? There were still a few years left. Could there be any unforeseen events in between? Sure. Xiao Yuanshan didn't say anything. Xiao Xiao walked out of the house and looked at Qing Mingxiang, but it has to be written clearly. If it's because of your Qing family that leads to the cancellation of the engagement or other situations, this agreement will still be in effect. Xiao Yuanshan couldn't help but nod. That's right. There was a precedent of the Qing family canceling an engagement. If the Qing family were to cancel the engagement again and not admit the matter of Xiao Chen's return, wouldn't it be a waste of effort? Chapter 339. Sure, no problem. Old Master Qing didn't say anything. Since he agreed, he wouldn't go back on his word. The reason why he broke off the engagement was because his son was killed by Xiao Chen's father, Xiao Feng. It would be strange if he wasn't angry. However, to ensure fairness, there's also a condition. If it's because of your Xiao family, Xiao Chen doesn't want to return or can't return, it won't affect the engagement. Qing Zhongfan added. Xiao Yuanshan looked at Xiao Xiao in surprise. He didn't expect Xiao Xiao to agree to this condition. Previously, when Xiao Chen was chased out of the family, Xiao Xiao was cold and indifferent. But now, because the engagement would allow Xiao Chen to return, Xiao Xiao chose Qing Mingqiang. It seemed that no matter how much Xiao Xiao disliked Xiao Chen, she still remembered that she was a part of the Xiao family. She would do anything that was beneficial to the Xiao family. Sure, but before we officially get married, Qing Mingqiang can't force me to do something I'm not willing to do. Xiao Xiao nodded. That's for sure. We can get along first. When you have feelings for me, we can talk about other things. Qing Mingqiang didn't mind. The main reason he married Xiao Xiao was for the Xiao family. As for when he could touch Xiao Xiao, it wasn't important. He was a person who craved power more than anything else. All right, Grandpa, I have no objections. Xiao Xiao said to Xiao Yuanshan. Xiao Yuanshan didn't expect things to go so smoothly. Although there were some restrictions, Xiao Chen would definitely be able to return to the Xiao family in the future. He was relieved. However, he couldn't help but sigh in his heart. The Xiao family was in dire straits. Asking Xiao Chen to return had to depend on the Qing family. How embarrassing. But there was no other way. Xiao Feng was the leader of the younger generation. He was also a disciple of a big sect. His future was limitless. It could be said that with the title of the disciple and the engagement between Xiao Chen and Qing Menjing, the third generation of the Xiao family could be said to be the sun at high noon. But now, Xiao Feng was missing, and he couldn't rely on the backing of a big sect. Most importantly, he knew his own situation. He was deeply poisoned, and it was unknown how long he could live. The key point was that this poison could not be detoxified. He had already secretly seen a few powerful pharmacists, but they were all helpless. Xiao Yuanshan had already given up on treatment. He only hoped that with this marriage with the Qing family and the cooperation with the Sun family, after Xiao Chen took over the Xiao family would be able to survive. If Xiao Chen's son could cultivate, then the Xiao family would be able to survive. Otherwise, they would really decline. If one's fist wasn't hard, then they didn't have the right to speak. Looking at old Master Qing, who looked amiable on the surface, but spoke with a condescending tone, Xiao Yuanshan knew that he was in a disadvantageous position. All right, family head Qing, since both sides have no objections, shall we sign the contract? Xiao Yuanshan said. No problem. Old Master Qing nodded his head and signaled Qing Zhongfan to do it. Qing Zhongfan took out his laptop and quickly printed out the contract. Then, he printed it out with a small printer. Both family heads signed their names on it, and the marriage was set. In these big families, any verbal agreement was not as important as the contract. With the contract, if they went back on their words, it was equivalent to throwing away the face of the family. Previously, because Yu Xiaochuan had a contract with the Tang family, Yu Xiaochuan had no choice but to find Tang Fengbai to cancel the marriage again and again. Hee, we are still in-laws in the future. Meng Chang, tomorrow is the day of the Songning Summit between the righteous and demon sects. Our Qing family is also invited. Bring Xiao Xiao to have a look and broaden her horizons. Old Master Qing said proudly. With the level of the Xiao family, they couldn't be invited to participate in the Songning Summit between the righteous and demon sects. Although this summit was held in Songning City, there weren't many local families in Songning City that were qualified to participate. Other than the Tang family and Yu family that were qualified to be spectators, the Qing family that was the head of the Songning family was the Qing family. The Xiao family didn't even receive an invitation. Xiao Yuanshan didn't agree directly, but turned to look at Xiao Xiao, asking for her opinion with a questioning gaze. All right. Xiao Xiao didn't refuse. Since they were already engaged, she knew what she should do. Although she promised Qing Mingxiang that he couldn't force her to do anything she didn't want to do, she had no reason to refuse when he asked her out. Otherwise, how could they be called an engaged couple? If they didn't even touch each other, how could it be considered an engagement? Didn't Shen Jingxian have to accompany Chen Jinpeng when he went out? Very good. Qing Mingxiang nodded with satisfaction and said, Xiao Xiao, let's get along well. I will also treat you well. You know, I actually like you very much. It's not just because of the union of interests. After all, the current Xiao family isn't the previous Xiao family. When he said this, he concealed his true purpose. It was because it wasn't the previous Xiao family that he couldn't wait to find Xiao Xiao for a marriage alliance. The matter was settled like this. Old Master Qing brought Qing Zhongfan and Qing Mingxiang away from the Xiao family. At this time, Xiao Hai also just returned. He met Xiao Chen today and talked a lot with Xiao Chen. Seeing that Xiao Chen was so reasonable and mature, he was very gratified. After all, he also hoped that the Xiao family would continue. He couldn't do it himself because his ability was limited, so he pinned his hopes on Xiao Chen. As long as the family's foundation was strong enough, even if the family head was trash and couldn't cultivate, he could still persevere and not fall. The Lu family, a gang family, could actually become one of the 9 families of Songning County, which proved this point. The overall strength was also very important. Although in many cases, there was a ruthless person in the family who could control everything, the overall strength could also make up for the shortcomings of not having a genius. Dad, Xiao Xiao. What are you all doing in the living room? Returning to the Xiao family's house, Xiao Hai saw his father and daughter sitting on the sofa in the living room the moment he entered the door. Judging from the number of teacups on the coffee table, they should have just sent away a group of guests. Who was it that visited the Xiao family? Xiao Hai, you're back. Xiao Yuanshan looked at Xiao Hai and then said, I have something to tell you. Previously, the old man of the Qing family came and proposed marriage. Xiao Xiao also agreed. Ah. Xiao Hai was stunned. Such a big matter, and he actually wasn't at home? But thinking about it, his big brother was missing, and the family matters were all decided by his father. He didn't have any say in it, so he smiled bitterly. Dad, then, we don't insist on our conditions? The Qing family agreed to our conditions. This is the contract of the marriage. You will know after you take a look. Xiao Yuanshan pointed at the contract on the coffee table and said to Xiao Hai. Oh. Okay. Xiao Hai quickly picked up the contract on the table and carefully looked at it. After reading it, he let out a sigh of relief. Although there were conditions on it, it was still fair. Whether it was the Qing family breaking off the marriage or the Xiao family's Xiao Chen not willing to return, it wouldn't affect the other effects of the contract. In other words, as long as there were no problems on his side, there wouldn't be a problem. And the Xiao family naturally couldn't not let Xiao Chen return. If the Xiao family had a few successors, then there might be some resistance for Xiao Chen to return. But the problem now was that the Xiao family was looking forward to Xiao Chen's return. How about it? I think that it's good enough to meet these conditions. Xiao Yuanshan said. He really didn't have much time left. He didn't know when he would pass away, so he had to arrange everything while he was still alive. Otherwise, Xiao Hai didn't have enough courage and wouldn't have any ideas in many situations. He didn't know if he could take up the position of the family head. If he and Xiao Chen were to discuss it, then the Xiao family would be able to survive. I don't have any objections, mainly Xiao Xiao. Xiao Hai looked at Xiao Xiao who wasn't far away. I also don't have any objections. Xiao Xiao said. Xiao Hai was a little surprised. Previously, Xiao Xiao didn't think much of Xiao Chen. When Xiao Chen was chased out of the family, she didn't say much. He didn't know why she actually agreed to Qing Mingxiang's marriage. Seeing that her father was looking at her, Xiao Xiao explained, anyway, it's the same no matter who I marry. It's not like I can choose. Just treat it as a contribution to the Xiao family when I leave. Xiao Xiao, Dad is sorry. I didn't let you and Qi Zhigao be together. Xiao Hai said with some self-blame. It's nothing. Xiao Xiao shook her head and said, although I have a better impression of Qi Zhigao than Qing Mingxiang, this kind of impression is only from a childhood playmate. I didn't like him when I was young. It's just that I feel that marrying Qi Zhigao is more acceptable than marrying Qing Mingxiang. After all, Qing Mingxiang is too scheming, I don't like him. Oh? Xiao Hai was slightly stunned. Then who do you like? I haven't been in contact with many boys since I was young. Who else can I like? Xiao Xiao shook her head. Anyway, I'm going to marry someone, so it doesn't matter, this. Xiao Hai sighed. He also heard a trace of dissatisfaction and indifference towards Qing Mingxiang in Xiao Zhao's tone. However, he couldn't change anything. He didn't have the ability to change anything. The decline of the Xiao family was also related to his mediocre aptitude. If he was also a genius and entered that sect, it wouldn't be like this. I'm going to sleep. Xiao Zhao's personality was very cold. She didn't say much and left the guest room. After Xiao Xiao left, Xiao Hai felt a little guilty. Dad, isn't it a little unfair to treat Xiao Xiao like this? This child is cold on the outside but warm on the inside. This is her choice. Xiao Yuanshan said, don't look at how she doesn't care about Xiao Chen on the surface. In her heart, she still hopes that this brother is good. Otherwise, she wouldn't have agreed to the marriage with the Qing family. In fact, compared to the Qi family, the Qing family isn't too different. The only difference is that Xiao Chen will return. Yes, even if we were to marry into the Qing family, it would be good if the Qing family didn't hit us when we were down. They wouldn't be able to give us too much help. Chapter 340. At this point, Xiao Hai couldn't help but have some doubts. The Qing family looking for us for a marriage alliance. Could it be purely because Qing Mingxiang likes Xiao Xiao? And he can't borrow any power? What I am worried about is not that we are unable to borrow anything from them. When Xiao Yuanshan spoke to this point, he could not help but sigh and said, what I am worried about now is that the Qing family has other motives. Oh? What intentions? Xiao Hai couldn't help but be surprised and asked in confusion. I can't say for sure. Previously, I thought that they wanted to use the marriage alliance to annex the Xiao family. After all, the Xiao family has no successor in your generation. If Xiao Xiao marries Qing Mingxiang, then the Xiao family will be the same as the Qing family. When you and I both leave, the Xiao family will no longer exist. After all, this is also the main reason why I feel that they have always been against Xiao Chen's return. At this point, Xiao Yuanshan paused for a moment and said, but later on, they agreed to Xiao Chen's return. I don't understand. If Xiao Chen returns, then the Xiao family won't have no successor. Then why did they do this? Ah. Xiao Hai suddenly understood. He didn't think that his father had considered so much, but now it seems that the Qing family's goal is a bit strange. Forget it, since everything is fine now, I can only think that Qing Mingxiang likes Xiao Xiao more. After all, with the Qing family's current state, there is no need for them to marry anyone. The Qing family will sit firmly on the #1 seat of the Songning aristocratic family. Moreover, I heard that old Master Qing recently broke through again. Xiao Yuanshan thought of his body's condition and was a bit worried. The old Master Qing, who was about the same age, not only had a good body, but also broke through. It wouldn't be a problem for him to live for another few decades. The Qing family could wait for Qing Mingxiang to grow up, but the Xiao family couldn't. Okay, then, should I tell this good news to Xiao Chen? Xiao Hai said, today, I met with Chen. He has grown up and is much more mature than before. He should be able to take on the position of young patriarch. Let's not. The Qing family has also set a condition. It's not good for us to go against it in advance. Anyway, it's just a matter of time. Let him stay with Qing Menjing first. Who knows, they might get angry over time. Xiao Yuanshan waved his hand and said, "All right." Xiao Hai was also optimistic that Xiao Chen and Qing Menjing would be together. If the two of them were to be together, it would be like meat on both the palms of the Qing family's hands. The future leader of the Xiao family would be old Master Cheng's grandson. What was the point of annexing? However, what she was most afraid of was that old Master Cheng would not marry Qing Menjing to Xiao Chen, and then there would be nothing left. However, this was not something that Xiao Hai could worry about. He could only leave it to Qing Zhongming to think of a way to manipulate it. Xiao Chen drove the Missy back to the villa. On the way, the Missy was silent. During the meal, Qing Zhongming said a lot of hinting that Xiao Chen and Qing Menjing could be together in the future. Uncle Cheng said those words because of my father. Actually, it's fine as long as we know what's going on. You don't like me, I know. When the time comes, I won't use this to threaten you. Xiao Chen said to Qing Menjing while driving. Oh. Qing Menjing heard Xiao Chen's words and felt a little disappointed. This guy, why didn't he have any sense of anticipation? Could it be that he didn't like me at all? You don't seem too happy. Could it be that you want us to continue being together? Xiao Chen saw that the Missy's mood seemed to be down, so he asked. Who wants to be together with you? Qing Menjing glared at Xiao Chen with dissatisfaction and said indifferently, I don't want to get married so early. It's good to have you as a shield. You hold the position first. When I find my true love, I will replace you. Okay. Xiao Chen was stunned. He didn't expect the Missy to think so. But since he was her servant, he naturally had to think for her. Qing Menjing glanced at him and didn't say anything, so they drove back to the villa in silence. After returning to the villa, Qing Menjing went upstairs to sleep, and Xiao Chen was ready to boil the medicine, but he was stopped by Yi Xiaoya in the living room. Xiao Chen, where did you go last night? I'm still waiting for you to cook for me. Sweat. Xiao Chen forgot about Yi Xiaoya. He had promised to cook with this little girl before, but he came back late today. We ate out today. Someone is treating us. Should I cook for you now? That's not necessary. It's embarrassing to cook for me alone. Yi Xiaoya shook her head. I'll just eat some biscuits like before. No need. It'll be quick. Xiao Chen thought that Yi Xiaoya was a good person. To be honest, he was very grateful to her. If it weren't for her, he wouldn't have any martial arts. Speaking of this martial arts, Xiao Chen felt that it was a trap. As an awesome cultivator, he actually didn't have any martial arts. However, perhaps in the world of cultivators, his level was the weakest. After the other party quickly surpassed this level, there must be a higher level above the refinement stage. At that level, there might be a corresponding martial arts technique. Xiao Chen entered the kitchen and then busied himself for a while. A bowl of freshly made ramen was served. Xiao Chen was quite good at making noodles because he had been selling fried dough sticks in the morning market. So fast. Yi Xiaoya was a little surprised. She picked up the chopsticks and ate it. It was much more delicious than instant noodles and biscuits. If there's nothing else, I'll go back to my room first. You eat it yourself. Xiao Chen was in a hurry to boil the medicine. Oh, okay. Yi Xiaoya nodded. When Xiao Chen left, she took out her mobile phone while eating and began to edit a message. As soon as Xiao Chen plugged in the electric casserole, he received a push message from the Warrior Guild client. It was sent by Yi Bia. Tomorrow night, do you know about the Devil Songming Summit registration? How's the preparation going? Yi Bia asked. It's okay, how else can it be? Where are we meeting tomorrow? Xiao Chen replied. At the entrance of the Li Hua Waterfront Villa District. Do you have a car? Can you drive to pick me up? Yi Bia asked. How about a bicycle? Xiao Chen had a car, but he couldn't drive it. As soon as he drove, he would be recognized by Yi Xiaoya. Forget it, let's walk. Yi Xiaoya was also a martial artist, so she didn't feel that there was anything wrong with walking. Okay, then what time should I meet you tomorrow? Xiao Chen asked. At 5:30, the registration will start at 6:30. 1 hour, our speed is enough to walk to the place. By the way, are you confident? Yi Xiaoya said. I don't know what to do. How can I be confident? Xiao Chen asked. It's just some competitions, and there are competitions between the righteous and the devil. Whoever wins more wins in the end. Yi Xiaoya said. Oh, then we'll see. Xiao Chen was not interested in these things. He just accompanied Yi Xiaoya, and did whatever Yi Xiaoya asked him to do. After tomorrow's matter was settled, Xiao Chen was relieved. He waited for the medicinal materials to be decocted, and then continued to take them. Since he had nothing to do, Xiao Chen sent a text message to Goddess Shen and Tang Tang, asking them what they were doing. Of course, Goddess Shen's text was sent using White Fox's mobile phone number. Soon, Goddess Shen's text message came back, I'm lying down. I just woke up. By the way, my father knows that you did it yesterday. What did I do? What did I do? Xiao Chen was stunned. He did not understand what Shen Jingxian was referring to. Don't play dumb. Don't you know what you did to me in the villa? I'm talking about your identity as Xiao Chen. Shen Jingxian replied. After reading the text message, Xiao Chen was slightly shocked. Shen Zhenghao knew? He quickly asked, how did he know? Shen Jingxian deleted the text message she had sent before, and then directly called White Fox's phone number. Goddess Shen. Xiao Chen picked up the phone. Are you crazy? Call me Goddess Shen. Shen Jingxian was a little dissatisfied. You calling me that reminds me of a sentence. Behind every goddess, there is, the sentence you told me. Ugh. Don't worry. I won't *CK you until you vomit, Xiao Chen promised. Humph, I'll let you *CK me. Shen Jingxian said. Right, what did you say was going on before? How did Uncle Shen know? Xiao Chen smiled and didn't care. It was normal that Shen Jingxian couldn't accept the intimate relationship between the two. After all, the previous incident happened under the effect of the incense. It's like this. Shen Jingxian told Xiao Chen about the previous incident. Oh. Xiao Chen frowned. Someone had actually taken a picture of him? And someone got the video of Chen Jinpeng's car? Who the hell did this? Is someone targeting me? Would the fact that he was a white fox be exposed? But now it seemed that it wasn't, so Xiao Chen said, don't mention this again. Don't talk about me in front of Uncle Shen. In fact, Uncle Shen is right. If my identity is exposed, then the thing between us will probably be over, unless my ability can be further improved. If I am a martial artist at the 10th stage of internal force, it probably won't be a problem. Well, I know. Shen Jingxian said, I will be careful. When you are Xiao Chen's face, I will keep a distance from you. You don't have to keep a distance too much. Just do it secretly like before, Xiao Chen said. I hate you. I'm going to eat something. I'm hungry. Shen Jingxian said, I'll hang up first. Okay. Xiao Chen laughed. After hanging up the phone, Xiao Chen saw that Tang Tang hadn't replied to his text message. He was a little worried. Before, she didn't appear at Qing Menjing's birthday party. There was no news for a long time. Xiao Chen couldn't help but worry about her situation. After thinking about it, Xiao Chen directly dialed Tang Tang's cell phone, but what he didn't expect was that Tang Tang's cell phone was turned off. It seemed that either Tang Tang changed her cell phone number, or her cell phone was taken away by her family. Chapter 341. Xiao Chen frowned. He planned to find a chance to inquire about it, but the best candidate was undoubtedly Yu Xiaochuan. But why didn't this guy ask me for help recently? After that, Xiao Chen called Zhu Yingxiong again. Xiao Chen hadn't seen this little brother for a long time. He didn't go to Qing Menjing's birthday before. Although he was related to Qing Menjing and Jin Beibei, the Zhu family was powerful now. They might not be humble to attend these banquets. Even if the Qing family was the top family, as long as the Zhu family's old ancestor was there, the Zhu family status was also superior. Zhu Yingxiong, what have you been doing recently? Why didn't you attend Menjing's birthday party? Xiao Chen asked after the phone was connected. Boss, you called at the right time. I just regained my freedom and was about to call you, but your phone was busy just now. I didn't expect you to call me. Zhu Yingxiong's excited voice came from the other side of the phone. Puff. Xiao Chen was a little speechless. Why are you under house arrest again? It's because my family found out about what happened with the Sun family before, so they didn't let me go out. Coincidentally, my old ancestor said that he wanted to take me to participate in a so-called righteous and demonic Soming summit. He said that my strength was too low, so he forced me to cultivate in seclusion at home to improve my strength. I was almost tortured to death. He gave me a bunch of inexplicable elixirs and almost sacrificed me. Zhu Yingxiong said with a sad face. Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. But then again, Zhu Yingxiong also participated in the righteous and demonic Soming summit? Xiao Chen suddenly thought that Zhu Yingxiong also knew the identity of White Fox. Wouldn't they meet tomorrow? So he said, you will go tomorrow too? How is your strength now? No wonder I haven't seen you for a while. Yeah, I'm going too. Boss, are you going too? Zhu Yingxiong was a little surprised. Boss, are you going back to the Xiao family? I'm too ill-informed. No, I have another identity, you know. So just pretend that you don't know me tomorrow, Xiao Chen said. Oh, no problem. It's impossible for us to sit together at that time. I don't think we'll even have a chance to talk. Zhu Yingxiong said, Boss, I'm already a martial artist at the second stage of inner strength. So awesome. Xiao Chen was a little surprised. The old ancestor of the Zhu family did have some ability. Although his strength was nothing in Xiao Chen's eyes, it was very rare for Zhu Yingxiong. Hee, how can I be as awesome as you, boss? Zhu Yingxiong smiled and said, right, boss, I heard that the Sun family was finished when I came out of seclusion. How did you fix it? I fixed it. Xiao Chen said. There was no need to hide it. After all, many people knew that it was White Fox who did it, so there was no need to hide it from Zhu Yingxiong. F*ck me, F*ck me, is this for real? So awesome. Zhu Yingxiong was surprised. Boss, you can actually let people get the wind on the horse? Yes, Xiao Chen said. Then can you help me let someone get the wind on the horse? Zhu Yingxiong asked with anticipation. Who? Xiao Chen was stunned. The young master of a big family in the province, which is the real martial family. His family is about the same size as the Shen family. He King stole my fiancée. Zhu Yingxiong said angrily, this bastard harassed my fiancée while I was in seclusion. Fortunately, my fiancée was strong-willed and loyal to me. Otherwise, he would have gotten his way. If there weren't others around, this kid would have tried to force himself on her. The real martial family was a level higher than ordinary martial arts families. No matter how big the Qing family was, they could only be called an ancient martial family. They could not be called a real martial family. Under normal circumstances, they could only be called an aristocratic family. Of course, the real martial family was also a member of the ancient martial family. The real martial family could also be called an ancient martial family. However, ancient martial families were not all real martial families. You have a fiancé? Xiao Chen's eyes widened. He had never heard that Zhu Yingxiong had a fiancé. Not long ago. After we met, I went into seclusion. My family's ancestor told me, Zhu Yingxiong said. Which family's man? Xiao Chen was stunned. You Xiao Chuan's sister, Yu Shanshan. Zhu Yingxiong still didn't know about the grudge between Xiao Chen and Yu Xiaochuan. However, it wasn't a grudge anymore. Yu Xiaochuan was about to change. He was no longer a threat to Xiao Chen. Pfft. Xiao Chen was stunned. Yu family? Yes. Zhu Yingxiong said, although the Yu family is quite hypocritical, Yu Shanshan is definitely not. She is a very pure girl. She doesn't have many schemes. Alright, I wish you happiness. Xiao Chen thought about it. The matter between him and Yu Xiaochuan didn't seem to affect Zhu Yingxiong. After all, his daughter was married off. When the Yu family was destroyed, it had nothing to do with the Zhu family. Yes, boss. Let's talk about serious matters. Is Feng Yi okay? I won't be at ease if he doesn't die. Zhu Yingxiong asked carefully, but, can he cause trouble for you? He won't give it to me. The main thing is you. If he suspects, he will definitely suspect you. Xiao Chen said. In fact, Xiao Chen could do this kind of thing easily. Zhu Yingxiong could become enemies with the Sun family because he protected Kerlin. Of course, he could help him kill his love rival. This. Zhu Yingxiong was stunned. Then, he immediately thought that if something happened to the young master here, the first suspect would be him, Zhu Yingxiong. He wouldn't suspect others. However, he gritted his teeth and said, kill him. Otherwise, I really can't sleep. This thing has no evidence. If he really comes to me, my elder will settle it for me. Needless to say, Zhu Yingxiong was quite a ruthless person. He was more decisive, which was in line with Xiao Chen's character. What's his name? What's his strength? I will act according to the situation. Xiao Chen smiled. In fact, it didn't have to be Feng Yi. There were other ways to put people to death. His name is Ouyang Tang, but he isn't a direct descendant of the Ouyang family. He belongs to the side branch, but his strength isn't weak. I heard that he wants to participate in the competition for the young master, so he came to the summit to show his face and make a name for himself. He is completely different from us who are just spectators. Zhu Yingxiong said with some envy, a martial artist at the peak of the 4th level of inner force. Oh, I will remember it. I will see how it goes tomorrow. Xiao Chen didn't refuse. After so many years, I have to help you as your boss. Otherwise, you will be a wasted boss. Boss, be careful. It's okay to expose me, but don't expose yourself. Zhu Yingxiong quickly reminded. My identity tomorrow is White Fox. It doesn't matter if I am exposed. Anyway, the identity of White Fox had made a lot of enemies. There was nothing to be afraid of. Let's talk about it when we can find him. Moreover, Song Huawu also said that at the Righteous and Demonic Summit, it started and ended at the summit. Xiao Chen had been staying in Songning City. As long as he didn't go to the Ouyang family's territory, there shouldn't be too much of a problem. When Xiao Chen could go there, it would be the time when the Ouyang family dared to make a move. Thank you, boss. Zhu Yingxiong said gratefully. After hanging up the phone with Zhu Yingxiong, Xiao Chen's medicinal herbs were also decocted. After consuming it, Xiao Chen held the spiritual jade in his hand and began to cultivate. After changing the medicinal herbs of the prescription, it formed a burning manic in Xiao Chen's body. Following that, the energy in the spiritual jade was continuously absorbed into Xiao Chen's body. Xiao Chen began to train crazily, exerting the medicinal properties in his body to the extreme. After an hour, Xiao Chen stopped. He threw the powder of the spiritual jade in his hand into the trash can and walked into the bathroom. At this point, all the spiritual jade in his hand had been consumed, and his strength had reached the peak of the 6th level of the Qi refinement stage. Although he hadn't touched the barrier of the 7th level, Xiao Chen estimated that it was almost there. As long as he had enough spiritual jade to assist him, breaking through to the 7th level of the Qi refinement stage shouldn't be a problem. Phew. Xiao Chen didn't expect that he would make progress on the first night of the Righteous and Demonic Summit, Songning. He was different from Zhu Yingxiong. Zhu Yingxiong was just a spectator, while he really had to compete on the stage. If his strength was too weak, he could only be beaten up. However, now that he was equivalent to a martial artist at the peak of the 7th level of the inner force, he should almost be considered as the leader of the summit, right? Xiaochen felt that the style of this summit shouldn't be high. After all, Songning City wasn't a big city, and the summits held in the city didn't have too powerful people. The night passed uneventfully. The next morning, before Xiaochen went to school, he told Missy that he had something to do at night. When Xing Menjing asked him what he was going to do, he only said that he was going to look for Zhu Yingxiong, so Missy didn't mind. After all, when he was in number 1 middle school, Qing Menjing knew that Xiaochen and Zhu Yingxiong hung out together. At 5:30 that night, Xiaochen walked a little earlier from school. At the entrance of the community, he saw Yi Xiaoya in tight clothes, and he was wearing a white fox mask. "White Fox, you're here." Yi Xiaoya glanced at Xiaochen. "Why are you always wearing a mask? Which sect are you from? Are you so afraid of others recognizing you?" The first time Xiaochen did a mission, it was understandable that he wore a mask. After all, many mission trial takers didn't want others to know their true identities. However, things were different now. The two of them were very familiar with each other, and they were even partners. However, Xiaochen still wore a mask, which made Yi Xiaoya feel weird. "I don't want others to know my true identity," Xiaochen nodded. "Then can you tell me which sect are you from?" "Okay." Yi Xiaoya nodded and didn't probe further. After all, this wasn't a big deal. If he really came from a hidden sect, it was normal that he didn't want others to know his identity. "Are we leaving now?" Xiaochen asked. "Is it the Jing family martial arts dojo?" "Yes, it's only half an hour's walk." Yi Xiaoya said as she walked. "When you get there, if you don't want to say your sect when you register, just say that you are a demonic cultivator or a rogue cultivator. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.